And your Dodge and Chrysler Plymouth dealers, coming back strong with the cars and the value America wants. By Canon, plain paper copier. Iconics makes it simple. By Schlitz, the master brewer's brew. Just one taste and you'll know behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer. And by GTE. GTE is telecommunications and a whole lot more. Good afternoon and welcome to the home of the champions of recent years, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Are they in their demise now? That question being asked even by the coaches. Chuck Noll says, I don't think we are, but we're not sure. This is Don Criqui with John Brody as Walt Michaels and his New York Jets are set to go against the Steelers here at Three Rivers Stadium. Both these teams 0-2 on the year. The pressure building in both towns. Certainly it's built for Walt Michaels as a head coach now in his fifth year. It hasn't built for Chuck Noll from his coaching position standpoint. He's going to the Hall of Fame as a coach one day. He wants his team to win again, and he thinks it can. Pat Leahy kicks off for the Jets. Anderson is back deep for the Steelers, and he says no. Larry Anderson downs the ball in his end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line, and the Steelers with Bradshaw at quarterback going offense, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh opened here against Kansas City a couple of weeks ago. Turned the ball over some 7 times. As Chuck Noll said afterwards, our ineptness was a team effort. There's the offense. Bradshaw at quarterback. Frank Pollard will start as a runner, and the great Franco Harris, the fullback. Stallworth and Swan, the wideouts for Pittsburgh, although we might see Calvin Sweeney and Jim Smith in the starting lineup. They're going to alternate their people. It's Smith who's going to start for Lynn Swan. He'll be down in the second series, no doubt. Benny Cunningham, the tight end, and the Steelers come up a pitching. Here's Bradshaw over the middle, and the ball is snapped away from Benny Cunningham. Ken Schroy, the strong safety, came in, knocked the ball down. The offensive blockers for Pittsburgh were eaten up pretty badly their last time out by the Miami Dolphins, but Chuck Noll says this might be the strongest area of his team. Kolb, Wolfley on the left side, Webster the All-Pro center, Corson and Larry Brown on the right side. It is 2nd down and 10 for Pittsburgh. Opening set of downs from scrimmage. Game just underway at Three Rivers Stadium. Franco on his slant, gets ahead for 6 yards. Pittsburgh blockers open the way. Greg Buttle making his first start of the season for the New York Jets. 51, the left side linebacker came across and made the tackle, but watch the blocking.
It's good to have Greg Buttle back if you're a Jet fan, because he's the personality of their defense. He sort of sets the whole tempo for the play of the day. And the Jets surprised me on the first play of the game, Don. They came into a full blitz. They were 1-to-1 outside on those 2 fine wide receivers, and Bradshaw almost got the first one picked off by trying to come inside to Cunningham.
There is speculation here, John. As you know, there's going to be a lot of blitzes both ways today. They both need to improve their pass rush. Bradshaw on 3rd and 4. Gets some time. Long ball. Jim Smith is open, and he has the ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jim Smith is out of bounds at the 38-yard line of the New York Jets, but there is a penalty marker down at the scrimmage. 34-yard gain if it goes.
Well, I was just going to say, Don, that if they sit there in a man-to-man defense outside against those excellent wide receivers, Swan and Smith, they're going to have a very long day. I think they call it on the defense for pushing off about 8 to 10 yards down the field. It's an impossible task to ask cornerbacks all day long to watch those kind of receivers, and they put them in that position twice. Okay, Bradshaw gets excellent protection. You have to have it in order to get your receiver down the field 12 yards before he makes his break. Gives himself enough room to the sideline so when Bradshaw throws it, he takes it on the dead run. A little more roomy to run it in.
34-yard gain as it was, and now Pittsburgh looking to strike from the 38 goes to the run. Pollard up ahead. Free football, Jets have it. The Jets get the ball. Pittsburgh turns it over, and so back at Three Rivers, just as they started the season turning it over, they do on their opening series, and Walt Michaels has some instant relief.
What you've seen, Don, is the same thing that's hampered them the first 2 games, and people say, is it their lackadaisical attitude? No, sometimes the guy will try to take up a slack for another player that's not having his best day. They've made these kind of mistakes trying to do too much, I believe, in the first couple games. They've got to cut them down.
Now the Jets going offense. Richard Todd is the quarterback. Sends 2 wide receivers to the left.
1, 2, 3.
Running hard with the ball and running well with the ball is Tom Newton. And he's cut down as he tries to go wide and only got a couple. The hole was there, then it closed. Joe Green hit him. Out of quarterback, the rookie Freeman McNeil, of which great things are expected, and Tom Newton are the setbacks. Wesley Walker and Derek Gaffney start as the wide receivers. Jerome Barkham, the tight end. Ward and Powell, the tackles. Rasmussen and Alexander, the guards, and Joe Fields, the center. John?
And look, they're in their three-man line. They're going to try to get some linebackers to put pressure on Todd.
Gary Dunn is the nose tackle. Danizak rushing from the right side. The pass is complete, though, and Freeman McNeil coming out of the Jets' backfield gets ahead to the 45-yard line and gets ahead for a Jet first down. Zach Valentine made the tackle for Pittsburgh.
You know who has the ball when a guy like Freeman McNeil's got it. I can remember 20 years ago out in San Francisco when McElhaney had the ball, you didn't have to see his number. When John Arnett had it, Jim Brown, you didn't have to look at the number. You knew who had the ball. McNeil has that sort of characteristic to me. When he gets it, he's got 4 yards to make to pick up the first down. He does it just on pure athletic ability.
Jets moving, get a first down, right back to McNeil, and this time the Steelers shut down the run. Danizak coming back as McNeil tried to pick his way. Bob Ledbetter, who coaches the Jets offensive back, says the one thing that's as impressive as his ability, John, is his willingness and his desire to do everything he can to improve as fast as he can. He wants to be a great one. He'll work for it.
It's one of the qualities that first draft choices have to have in order to really contribute to your club, and they've got to start showing it today. They can't wait till tomorrow.
Some hurt people in the Steeler defense. Woodruff starting for Ron Johnson at one corner. Robin Cole is out as a linebacker. Tom Beasley, defensive lineman, is out of this game. It's second down and 10 for the Jets. Todd gets some time. He takes a look deep and he throws, and the ball comes in high. So it's going to be third down and 10 for the Jets. Derek Gaffney went up for the ball, got one hand on it. 11:54 to play in the first quarter. Jets on their first possession. Steelers moved well the first time they had it, if you joined us late. Big gainer. Terry Bradshaw hit Jim Smith down to the Jet 38-yard line then. Steelers subsequently fumbled the ball. Gastineau got it for the Jets. Now the Jets come up with third down and 10. 45-yard line of New York. Bruce Harper in the backfield. So is Scott Durkee. They swing out. Todd takes a look. Goes over the middle. Jerome Barkham running a fly pattern. Never looked back. So the Jets will punt the ball to the Steelers.
He never looked back because he never found a spot where he could look back. He was covered like a blanket from the time of the inception of the play. Here's Jerome Barkham just coming around Donnie Shell. Now, he's playing it man-to-man on him all over the field. He's having his problems, but they've got two free safeties back there that are ready to collapse inside anytime the ball is thrown. Never had a man open.
Chuck Ramsey ready to hit the ball for the Jets, standing back at his 30. Calvin Sweeney is back deep for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sweeney going to field the punt at the 10. This is Jim Smith coming up with the punt, and Smith is immediately swept under. So the Jets push the Steelers back on a 45-yard punt with no return. 11:39 to play in the first quarter at Three Rivers, and we'll be back in a moment. Chuck Noll, 49 years old, 13 seasons at Pittsburgh. Look at the record here in Three Rivers. It's even more impressive. Over 82% of the Steeler home games under Noll have been won here at Three Rivers Stadium. And now it's first and 10 for Pittsburgh. Bradshaw goes to the run. Frank Pollard, a quick hitter, takes it across the 15-yard line. Got a hit for about 4 yards. One of the outside linebackers, 56, Lance Mell, was on the tackle for the Jets. The Jets on defense with Gastineau, Abdul Salam, Lyons, and Plecko across the front. Buttle starting, Link in the middle, Lance Mell on the right side. Secondary has been victimized this season. Bobby Jackson and Donald Dykes at the corners, Darrell Ray and Kenny Schroyer, the safeties. Second down and 6 now for the Steelers. Bradshaw, timing pattern, gets his tight end Cunningham. He's a load when he gets it, and Cunningham gets to the 30. Strong safety covering and making the tackle Schroyer, but the Steelers are ahead for a first down.
That's an indication of just how well Bradshaw's throwing the ball. He had to put the thing right in between a linebacker and a defensive back just as Cunningham made his break. He did so. He's been doing that consistently through the preseason, into the first 2 games, and they're going to throw the ball on first down. They're going to throw it all over the field. So just be ready.
The Jets were 26th in the NFL against the pass last season. They had problems defending against it this year. Bradshaw is so aware of that. He's going for the home run ball. Lynn Swan is out there and it's almost intercepted. Bradshaw, who loves to gun it deep over the middle of those acrobats who can catch it for him, but the Jets cover well.
Well, it was so well played. If you watch Roy and Darrell Ray into their zones. Now here's a first down situation. You'd assume they're playing the run pretty swiftly. This was a play number pass. Darrell Ray is playing center field from the time the ball is snapped. That's what I was talking about when I'm mentioning that the Jets have to develop a personality. These guys have developed a personality. You play the Steelers, you know the ball's coming down the field to Lynn Swan, to John Stallworth. They're going to throw it over the middle to Cunningham. Franco's going to run for some yards, and you just better be ready.
Franco's gone out right now, John, an ankle twist. He should be back. Russell Davis, runner from Michigan, and Frank Pollard, second-year runner from Baylor, in the backfield. Pollard goes in as a slot to the right. Russell Davis, the lone setback behind Bradshaw, as second down comes up. They go to Russell Davis, and he's ahead to the 34-yard line. It'll be third down and 6. Abdul Salam made the tackle for the Jets. The Steelers have had 10 days off after that Miami game, and they've really worked hard. Tuesday's normally a light day for them, but Coach Knoll had them in pads for a 3-hour drill here at Three Rivers.
10 days between games, not any days off. It's right.
That is right. There were no days off. Chuck Knoll starts to crack the whip here. He said if you have a team that's got a lot of veterans and you're losing, you're an old team.
They're in that blitz again, Donnie.
A lot of veterans, it's winning. It's an experienced team. Now we go with Bradshaw on third down. Throwing man is there. Lynn Swan with a great reception. What a player. What a fantastic player. Lynn Swan.
Don, you can see it from the line of scrimmage. Bradshaw had a different pattern called. He audibled at the line of scrimmage, and he uses it wisely. He's communicated with Lynn Swan for the last 6 or 7 years so well. Now, Jackson covers him terrifically. But he makes the break. Bradshaw sees a little hole to the outside, and it's only a guy like Swan that can come up with the big play when you need it to pick up the first down and keep your drive alive.
Swan with the great move and the exceptional hands, and the Steelers get a first down to the Jet 49-yard line. No score in the first quarter. First and 10, Bradshaw. He looks for the pass again. Now he's got some room to roll, but is he going to pump it? Gets a good block. Blinker was taken out of the play by Frank Pollard. And Bradshaw gets down inside the 45-yard line. Pollard came back when he saw his quarterback in trouble. He was running out of the backfield, and 44, Frank Pollard shot the middle linebacker Blinker just before he got to Bradshaw.
You notice he's changed his style a little. Terry Bradshaw used to take on linebackers. He's changed that. He knows the importance he means to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he still can run past the line of scrimmage. Very few quarterbacks are good runners once they get to the line of scrimmage. You'll watch him get out from the pass rush. When he gets outside, he makes it look like he's going to run. Now he's looking for a receiver, but there's nobody out there. He's just trying to get the linebacker off him. He picks up about 7, and here we go, second and 2.
Second and just over 2 for the Jets. Jets defense digging in. Now here the Steelers running the ball at them. Pollard takes it ahead and takes it down to the 35-yard line. First down, Pittsburgh. Going off the left side where the great John Kolb is blocking, and he's got a load to block against in Joe Klecko. Kolb, 55, missed much of last season, a 13-year veteran from Oklahoma State. They like John Kolb. They like all the Steelers.
They should like John Kolb because he's been there for 13 years doing the same job week in and week out. Mike Webster, Larry Brown, I'll tell you, Penny, you name it, they have an excellent offensive line.
It is first down and 10 for the Steelers. 35-yard line of the New York Jets. There's no score in the first quarter. Bradshaw has people in the end zone. He's throwing long. Stallworth reception inside the 10-yard line. A rerun of some of those Super Bowl plays what we're seeing. A 26-yard gainer, and the Steelers are challenging.
All right, we talk about how do you get time to throw a ball 25, 26 yards down the field. Mark Gastineau, you take a look at your screen. You couldn't see him because he was getting up off the ground. He got up. Somebody knocked him right over the top of his body, giving Bradshaw 3 or 4 seconds to throw the ball. And when you give him that much time, Stallworth and Swan down there together, one of them's going to come up with it.
And one of them did. John Stallworth, back in good health after the fractured leg kept him out much of last year. It is first down and goal, Pittsburgh, inside the 9-yard line. And went over the middle, but Terry had a scramble as the rush came in from the Jets. Bradshaw's now thrown the ball 7 times, has completed 4 for 93 yards. Dan Rooney, the president of the Steelers, said before the game, I think we're going to try to establish the run in this game and control the ball. So much for game plans.
I don't think Dan's in on the game plan, if you want to know the truth. His job is to get the people.
They've done that, too.
They don't have to establish a run. They've been able to do it for years.
Second down and goal. Draw play. Russell Davis, touchdown, Pittsburgh. Bang, 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 and the Steelers are in the end zone. Just like they like it in Pittsburgh, right down the field and into the end zone.
Well, Russell Davis was a great back in college. He hasn't had much playing time, but this is the sort of thing you find in Pittsburgh. Guys like Russell Davis that hadn't had a lot of playing time, now he's going to get some. Franco Harris is a 10-year veteran, still contributes a lot to this squad, but a guy like Davis has to pick up the slack.
The extra point is up and good. And so the Steelers go right down the field. The big throws from Bradshaw set it up. And Russell Davis takes it in for the first score of the game. For the kickoff now, Dave Trout, a rookie from Pittsburgh, ready to kick it off. Franco Harris walking off that ankle turn. He'll be back. Trout, a free agent from Pitt, booms it into the end zone. This is why they cut Matt Barr. As Trout kicks off so well, you don't get a chance to bring it back, and the Jets do not. Fielded by Kenny Lewis, but he'll have to take it down for a touchback.
When you're playing in Three Rivers Stadium against the Pittsburgh Steelers and you're behind 7-0, you better get something humming right away. Now you'll notice the first two first down situations that the Jets had, they tried to run the ball, they picked up nothing. I think if they're going to get back in the game, people have been successful throwing on first down all over the field, and they better get with it.
Richard Todd sets his team down. First and 10 at the 20. Jets trailing 7-0 first quarter. 6:58 to play in it. Boy, Steelers look like hombres again on defense.
That's what happens. They play to shut down the run. And if you play into their hands, they will dominate you. The problem with this is that it puts the whole offense in a very tenuous position. Second and 10 is the exact situation the defense wants to get you in. First and 10, you can do all kinds of things. You've got to make some yards on first down, and I think your most effective way is putting it up in the air against these guys.
You know, it's interesting, John, against Miami, Woodley threw 21 times on first down against Pittsburgh.
How'd they do?
I think they won that, didn't they? Here we go to the run. Come on. Oh, it's Freeman McNeil. And McNeil turns to the outside, crosses the 30. He's not done yet as he crosses the 45-yard line and gets to midfield. So Freeman McNeil, rated as a potential great one out of UCLA, turns in a 30-yard run from scrimmage, and the Jets move it way out.
Well, he's not only rated as a great one, Don. I had an opportunity to see him play a lot out on the West Coast, and he is a great one. The only time it's going to be exposed is when he gets the ball in situations where he's got a little room to work with. This is a draw play. It's a certain passing situation. He gets a little crack, and he's off. Now let's hum it, Richard. Let's hum it.
The longest run against the Pittsburgh Steelers this season was the last one you just saw by Freeman McNeil. First and 10 Jets, 50-yard line. Todd takes a look in the flat. He goes to Wesley Walker. He has the ball at the 38-yard line of Pittsburgh, and so the Jets start to come down the field. 6:08 to play in the first quarter. They might look at that side a lot, John. Ron Johnson, a good corner, isn't playing, an ankle injury, and Dwayne Woodruff, the backup, is in there.
They can look any side they like. They've got Lamb Jones and Wesley Walker. Now, if these two are as good as they're reputed to be, as we see Cleveland 3-0 out ahead of Cincinnati, ran there a one-on-one coverage. Mel Blunt sitting there one-on-one out on this side.
First and 10 now for the Jets. Todd pump faking home run ball. He's got a man there, but the ball just goes over the fingertips of Lamb Jones.
That's all right. Do it again.
Now let's check out the rest of the league as we switch back to New York to Bryant Gumbel. Bryant?
Okay, Don Criqui, down in the Astrodome, the Dolphins have jumped out in front of the Oilers on a carom shot. Off the foot of Uwe von Schammel. It came from 42 yards out. It's 3-0 Miami in the first. Don?
Dolphins on a roll. goal. A 3-0 lead for the Miami Dolphins as they look to extend their record to 3-0 on this season. The Jets will be hooking up with them in the near future, and there's Walt Michaels now. The pass is looking, but you know Cherny inside. Second down and 10 coming up for the Jets. Todd, he can run. He has a problem now, but he'll lose it. Finally, Todd is stuck and hard by Lauren Taves, 51. He's going to bring up third down and about 7.
Had nowhere to go with the ball. Once he rolled out, he'd committed himself. Both his receivers were covered. That's about all he could do. I love the first down play, throwing it down the field. I don't care how many you complete, you're going to complete some. You might not be a high percentage thrower, but you'll be a very effective touchdown maker. That's the first time I've been able to see Jones down the field.
Well, with all this old conversation we've been hearing for years about establishing the run now, something passe.
Well, you either have it or you don't. You don't establish it.
Third and 7. Jets trailing 7-0. Good throw. Man, look at that hit. That might be a free ball. No, it's not. Bobby Jones, a tough little guy, never played college football. Actually, the Steeler who struck him is down. He's hurt. Dwayne Woodruff, the left corner, goes down. He put the hit on Bobby Jones. Jones running the in pattern right into that Steeler coverage. So while Dwayne Woodruff is attended to, we take a timeout on the field. 5:09 to play in the first quarter. Steelers in the lead 7-0. We'll be back after this. With John Brody, this is Don Criqui back at Three Rivers Stadium. They brought a stretcher out now because Dwayne Woodruff has a badly lacerated forehead. Crashed into one of his teammates, making a hit on Bobby Jones and breaking up the pass play.
That's what those up and in patterns do, Don. I noticed that they've sent Leahy out to kick a field goal. As we see Cleveland 3-0 ahead of Cincinnati in the first quarter. San Francisco is getting beaten by Atlanta 10-0.
That can happen to you against Atlanta. Minnesota 7-0 over Detroit. First quarter score. So a timeout on the field as the Cardinals have taken a 3-0 advantage on a field goal over the Washington Redskins at St. Louis.
And alluding back to, as we see Chuck Noll on the sidelines, they're kicking a field goal which will have to be kicked some 52 or 53 yards. Now, Leahy's a good field goal kicker, but this is an extremely long distance for him. And I know it's silly and it sounds like second guessing, but the ball comes back to the line of scrimmage if you don't kick it good. And I think they have a better chance to pick up the first down.
Well, it'll be 4th and about 6, and as you mentioned, Leahy's on the field. Can't hit from a long distance. Dwayne Woodruff being taken off with a cut forehead. Steelers lead this game 7-0. Scored on a long drive, 89 yards. Payoff end, Russell Davison, 9-yard runoff tackle into the end zone untouched. Bradshaw got him down with some excellent throws to Swan and Stallworth. Lacerated forehead.
We're going to see some of Anthony Washington, the rookie from Fresno State, in the backfield for the Steelers in the next series.
Had Ryan Holmes, the kick is on its way. It's going to be far enough, but it's wide to the right. So the Jets come up empty on a long field goal attempt over 50 yards by Pat Leahy. And with 5:03 left to play in the first quarter, the Pittsburgh Steelers get the ball back. The Steelers and the Jets have played 5 times in the regular season over the years. Pittsburgh's won all 5. The last time they met was in the preseason a year ago. The Jets got the big rush going here at Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers 20-13. Sacked Bradshaw and his backup 6 times. That was the preseason. Great day in Pittsburgh. Temperature in the mid-60s. Clear and sunny. They've had a lot of rain all week. Bradshaw said those long workouts were even longer because of the weather. It's 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh. 35-yard line of the Steelers. Or the same. In the flat they go. Wide receiver screen, and John Stallworth is out almost to midfield. We'll see where they spot the ball. Blinka, the middle linebacker. Quick pattern as Bradshaw at that rifle arm just threw a fastball over on the flank, and John Stallworth took off with it.
Well, Bradshaw's looking outside all the time, and you play cornerbacks one-on-one against his wide receivers, he's going there. He'll call off any play he's called in the huddle if he sees you in a one-on-one situation, and it's why they throw the ball as much as they do. He's looking first for pass.
Franco Harris in the backfield. He's the lone setback. Now Pollard shifts into an offset backfield. Bradshaw goes back to the run. They get some trap midfield and down to the Jet 48-yard line. Franco Harris carried and Abdul Salam tackled him.
People mentioned the Steeler offensive line was a little suspect 10 days ago. They're definitely not so today. Larry Brown had an off night. He doesn't have very many off days. He's one of the most consistent performers in this league. Started as a tight end, moved to tackle, and has been there for 4 or 5 years playing outstanding football.
He was the starting tight end on the first Steelers Super Bowl team, Larry Brown. He's having a great year, right tackle. Second down and 5 now for Pittsburgh. Franco. Big back for Penn State. Takes it inside the 45-yard line and down to the 43. Lance Mail made the tackle for the Jets. Game clock down to 4:03 to play in the first quarter, and the Steelers lead at 7-0.
Their offensive line is really getting off on the ball well right now, Don. You can bet if they get a lead, they're still coming after you.
Now, John, they're talking about the experience of the Steeler team and the years that a lot of players have on them. For instance, Franco's now in his 10th year, but he's played in 18 playoff games, so that's more than another season.
Yeah, but it doesn't take its toll. You're a little pumped up for those babies.
3rd and 1 for Pittsburgh. Russell Davis gets the first down and takes the ball down to the Jet 39-yard line. So the Steelers go to the power game. They've been getting it off the left side. John Kolb and Craig Wolfley. The left tackle and the left guard, and of course Mike Webster, the great all-pro center. He's been a consensus all-pro, number 52 for Pittsburgh for the last 3 years.
The Jets have been criticized for staying in very patented defenses throughout the course of ball games. They haven't done this today. It's been excellent execution on the Steelers' part. The Jets have shown them about 6 different looks. They've hit the right spot in each one of them.
It is now 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh. Jet 39.
Lots of room to run.
Boy, he can go. He runs less nowadays, but when he wants to go, he can go. Blakey got him right on the sideline. No flag came in. But the Steelers gain a first down on a scramble run by Bradshaw.
Quarterbacks can really create time for themselves by calling play-action passes at the right time. Here he's got everybody lined up on the line of scrimmage. He's waiting for one of his wide receivers to come open. They don't. He's still got time to slide out. The linebackers have dropped so deep he can pick up a first down before they even lay a hand on him.
John, that was the all-pro Mike Webster threw that crack-back on Mark Gastineau in pursuit of Terry Bradshaw. So it's first down and 10 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers down to the 28-yard line of the New York Jets. Bradshaw wants it all. He's thrown deep. Throws it away. Lynn Swan was turning out. It'll be second down and 10 for Pittsburgh. Bradshaw is now in his 12th year as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Came into the league, and there's Houston now going in front of Miami. Stabler threw to Kenny Burroughs for 71 yards and a touchdown. Bradshaw came in. They said he wasn't smart enough to grasp the pro offense. A lot of criticism after kind of a slow start his first 3 or 4 years. When he goes to the Hall of Fame, they can sum up his career in 2 words. He won 4 Super Bowl championship teams, Terry Bradshaw's quarterback.
I always wonder who those people are that are so smart they can judge other people's intelligence.
They hide now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them around Pittsburgh, though. It's second down and 10 for the Steelers. 28-yard line of the New York Jets. Pittsburgh is leading 7-0. Bradshaw throws a strike to his tight end, Benny Cunningham.
I think he almost threw a wild pitch, but Cunningham stepped across the plate and hit it.
So the Steelers move on. Ball all the way down now to the 19-yard line, a gain of 9 yards on the play. It'll be third down and 1.
All those 3rd and 1s are fun. You can do a lot of different things when you get into that situation.
What would you like to do here, Coach?
Well, with the group I have in front of me, I just hand the ball to Russell or Pollard, and away we go.
Pollard's the guy, and away they do go, down to the 11-yard line. Frank Pollard takes it down to the 11. It's a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers with 1:44 to play in the first quarter. Well, you're right about that offensive line. They're coming off the ball.
They're really coming off the ball. Listen, when you get a group as proud as those fellas are, that have had as much success as they have, and pinpoint them as being one of the problems, you can bet it's not going to stay that way.
Bradshaw, first down and 10. Franco can't get the handle.
I don't think we'll see Franco playing very much more might have had a touchdown had he thrown it where he normally would. Threw it behind him. He couldn't move back for it.
The Steelers are in the lead late in the first quarter. They went 89 yards in one drive. Bradshaw making some big connections to Swan and Stallworth, and then handing off to Russell Davis for the touchdown from 9 yards out.
Sidney Thornton's in the ball game. Gets a little reaction from the crowd. Remember, the last couple of years he's been their most productive back.
Sid had a little problem against Kansas City. Carried the ball 6 times and fumbled 4. 2 of them were recovered by the Chiefs. He didn't play in the next game. Didn't hit the field.
Here we go again.
Here comes Franco. That's not Franco. That is, that's Harris down inside the 5-yard line and down to the 3. Apparently that ankle isn't too bad.
I was going to say so much for what I thought.
Now he's coming out.
I don't think it's as strong as he needs it to be, though. You know how many backs have been effective for 10 years in this game? Jim Brown for 9, I remember. Jimmy Taylor, John David Crow. There's been a few of them, but they're very rare.
Particularly this guy carries the ball over 300 times a season. Last year was only the second in his first 9 years that he did not gain over 1,000 yards. He missed 3 games. He's only missed 6 in his entire career. Franco Harris. Russell Davis looking for touchdown number 2. Didn't get there, but he might have gotten a first down.
No.
Need to get down to about the 1-yard line. Right side of the Jet defense threw him back. Klecko, Marty Lyons, Blinka, Darrell Ray came up from the safety.
Normally you'd see a group go for a field goal in this situation, but the Steelers and Chuck Noll don't always go by the book. I have to agree with them. I think they're going to have a go at it right now. They're trying to get a lead. They haven't been playing well in the first couple ball games. They've got a chance to jump right on top of somebody, and they're going to take it. There's Mel Blunt down there, old dome head.
The Isaac Hayes of cornerbacks. 4th down and less than a foot for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the 1-yard line of the Jets. Thornton. Bradshaw takes it himself. He's going in.
No. His feet got in. I don't know if the ball got there, but it did look like it was a first down.
Gone up.
I don't think he scored, but I think he got a first down.
Hey, that's a good point, too. He could get the first down if he's 6 inches away from the goal line. His feet got in, but he had the ball back of it. Now they're going to bring the chains out. They're spotting the ball down outside the goal line.
Well, we can take a look. You can see he thinks he's going in. Oops, all of a sudden, Darrell Ray comes back to grab him. It's whether the ball is over the goal line. It was not over, but I do think he picked up the first.
He also picked up a headache. I think Ray got him by the neck pretty good.
Well, he can handle that.
First down, Pittsburgh, as the first quarter comes to an end. So the Steelers head to the other end with 4 new downs to take it in from only a foot away. We'll be back at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh with the Steelers in the lead after 1 quarter of play, 7-0. Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. This is Don Criqui with John Brody. The Pittsburgh Steelers just got a first down as Bradshaw ran in a bootleg, took it down inside the 1, and now they have it first and goal, point blank range. Sidney Thornton and Russell Davis, the setbacks. Randy Grossman in motion leads the blockers. Russell Davis goes in for his second touchdown of the game, or does he? There's a penalty marker down. Penalty marker goes down. Steelers going 13 plays for 65 yards, but let's see if they get the touchdown. Might be a hold. Apparently not. At least the place kicking unit doesn't think so. They're out the field. So the Steelers with
wait a minute, Doc.
They're coming off.
It's a 10-yard penalty.
Here's the referee, Gordon McCarter.
Holding, number 74, offense, repeat first down.
Ray Kinney, one of the tackles, was called for the hold.
Those are the things that Pittsburgh's been doing this year that in the previous years they haven't been doing, and they just kill your drives. I mean, they make a great play to get down to the 1-foot line. Take a look at Kinney. I can't see it from there. Sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't. Great offensive surge, all for naught.
So instead of a touchdown, it's going to be first and goal from the 11-yard line. Bradshaw, pattern, puts it up for Stallworth. Second and goal from the 11.
Real nice coverage. That's a very difficult pattern to handle. just take 2 or 3 steps back. You've got the defenders back to the quarterback. The offensive receiver has every advantage. Lynn made an excellent play just to force Stallworth out of bounds and get best position on the ball.
Now the Steelers look to attack again as we go back to live action. Bradshaw, just outside the Jets' 10-yard line, has second and goal. Draw play. Pollard runs and gets it down to about the 7. He takes the full brunt of the Jet defense. Lance Snell, 56, hit him.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you. Salam had a pretty good piece himself. They've beaten him twice on that play. The third time they went to the well once too often.
That's going to bring up third down and goal for the Steelers from just outside the Jets' 7-yard line. Bradshaw's off to a good start this year. He's thrown very well, thrown for over 540 yards.
Yeah, and Don, you know, the yards aren't really the indicative thing. He's thrown to the right receiver. He's been on top of the game. They haven't come out on the top end, but he's been there.
Steelers with third down coming up. They're 4 for 4 in previous third down conversion attempts. Bradshaw takes a look into the end zone. Swan can't hold on. Now the field goal unit will come out for Pittsburgh, and here they come. So Bradshaw gets them all the way down 6 inches from the Jet goal, but the penalty sets them back outside the 10, and they'll try the field goal.
And a real good defense. The last 3 plays by the Jets were excellent defense. You can see they've got everybody covered. Coming out to the side, Swan just runs out of room. Bradshaw has nowhere else to throw it. Got help with a penalty, but then they played well.
The punter, Craig Colquitt, is the holder. 25-yard attempt. He's got a shot leg. Hits it like a shot. Trout drills it into the screen. Up and good. And the Steelers extend their lead here with 13:58 to play in the first half to 10-0. We'll be back at Three Rivers after this. Larry Bradshaw thought the Steelers may have a big offensive day. So far, John, they have.
Well, they have played very well offensively, and I think it's time for the Jets to do the same. I'm still looking for Wesley Walker down the field.
I think Richard Todd is too. Wesley hasn't been here for a while. He's in uniform. Kurt Zone can't take it out again, so Trout, not big, but he really unloads on the football on the kickoffs. 2 kickoffs and no returns yet for the Jets, with 13:51 to play in the first half. Boy, Pitt sent more guys to the pros this year than almost any team has ever done. About 12.
Yeah, that speaks pretty well for their talent, doesn't it? They don't have a bad group this year either.
As good as there is. It is first down and 10 for the Jets. They trail in the game 10-0 early in the second quarter. Richard Todd takes a look, guns the ball nicely, and Freeman McNeil says hello to Jack Lambert. It'll be second down and 10. Lambert is just playing fantastic football for the Steelers again. Man has a rage, a burning desire to win, won't accept anything else. He said this week, I don't want to hear any more talk about this losing. He said because there's not going to be anything to talk about after this game. We're not going to lose.
Well, you know, and he has been a very stabilizing influence in that defense over the last 5 or 6 years. That man in front of him, Joe Green, has been responsible for a lot of the tackles he's made, however. He forces people to double team him on most every play by jumping in that crack.
Bruce Harper turns the corner, and the Steelers come over. Lambert can run him down. Bruce working hard to get away, but Lambert gets him, and so it's going to be a gain of only a yard. It'll be third down and 9 for the Jets, and Richard Todd will be gunning it. Lambert's not only great against the run, he might be the best middle linebacker ever at covering the pass. He's so fast. Now they're going to go to an extra defensive back. Dirk Winston comes out of the game.
Yep. You know, they list him at 220 pounds. Having looked at him, he looks like he's 250 on the field, but in the locker room he looks about 210.
Rocky Blyer room with him on the road, John, one of our broadcasters at NBC, the great Steeler, ex-Steeler. He says that's a book in itself. It could be a bestseller. Rooming with Lambert. Scott Turking was going for the ball on an out pattern, and so the Jets come up empty on 3 consecutive downs and have to punt the ball back to Pittsburgh. And the Steelers, who were looking to come out strong, have done that, opening up a 10-0 lead with 13:01 to play in the first half. Jim Smith and Larry Anderson go back deep. Here's the punt by Chuck Ramsey. It's a high one, not too deep. Steelers let it hop, and it goes back good field position. They'll have the ball at their 49-yard line. Bradshaw directing a Steeler offense that's been diverse and effective. They lead 10-0. For L.C. Greenwood. Been around 13 years, the premier pass rusher in the Steeler championship years. Today, the Steeler defense has been watching the offense like we all have. Pittsburgh leading 10-0. Don Criqui with John Brody, ball at midfield, 1st and 10 Steelers. After a short jet punt. Bradshaw right back on top. He's got a man, slow to Franco. The 2nd down and 10. Steelers taking a page from the Miami game plan used against Pittsburgh, when, as we mentioned, David Woodley threw the ball 21 times on 1st down.
Well, I'll tell you, the Steelers have been doing this year in and year out for the last 6 or 7 years. As we noticed, Houston 7-6 over Miami. And I think all good teams do that. They throw the ball on 1st down whenever they think it's the best plan. It's not like they don't take what other people give them. They create something.
Now the Steelers set to go with 2nd down and 10 coming up. Bradshaw hands off to Franco Harris. Nothing there. Might have lost a yard. Gastineau, number 99, the left defensive end, ran down Franco Harris. And so the clock runs with 12 and a half minutes to play in the first half. And the Steelers go back into the huddle with 3rd down and 11 coming up.
Remember, Don, the Jets are right now in a very tenuous position. They're subject to getting blown out of this ball game if they don't play good defense. The last 5 defensive plays, they have held the Steelers to no yards. So it's getting better.
Let's see what the Steelers go to now. 3rd down and 11. Bradshaw is looking at Stallworth. He gets him. 1st down, Pittsburgh. Bradshaw looking on the left flank. John Stallworth. A down pattern, turned back at the ball, and Bradshaw with that rifle arm was right there. 1st down, Pittsburgh.
Johnny Lynn playing outside in the corner. It's a tough job handling Stallworth all by yourself. He takes away the inside. Stallworth runs such a good pattern. It's execution that got that ball complete. There was no design to it. You find a man one-on-one, you execute, pick up your 1st down.
Bradshaw again up top on 1st down. There's a man open. Lynn Swan loses the ball. Let's see what they rule. Is it incomplete? It is. An incomplete pass. Swanee had it, then took a step and stripped him of it. Jerry Holmes was covering on the play. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Pittsburgh.
Jerry Holmes was all alone with Lynn Swan. That is not the sort of thing you'd like to have happen very often if you're a young cornerback, but he covered him like a blanket.
There's also a penalty marker down, John, in the Pittsburgh backfield. It looks like a hold against the Steelers. Chuck Noll said this week we have the capability to win, whether or not we will.
Number 32, offense, repeat 1st down.
Whether or not we will remains to be seen. Stallworth has caught 3 balls today for 52 yards for Pittsburgh. Jets have gone to 2 new corners. They've got Holmes on one side, Johnny Lynn on the others. The starters were taking a beating.
Boy, and they're attacking the receivers. They're playing a bump and run, and it looks like they have them all over the field.
You're not going to beat the Steelers, and nobody has yet bumping and running with these guys. Franco Harris. Good block out in front. Pittsburgh has the blocker, Steve Corson, the right guard. Led the way, and Harris gets ahead for yardage. We'll be back at Pittsburgh in a moment. Now let's go to New York and Bryant Gumbel. Brian?
Okay, Don, in Cincinnati, the Bengals have fallen behind now 6-0. Dave Jacobs, his 2nd field goal, this one from 30 yards out. Browns out in front 6-0, but haven't scored a touchdown in a week and a half.
Here's Klecko hurt.
Joe Klecko a little shaken up here, Brian, as we come back to Pittsburgh, and there is the premier defensive lineman on the New York Jets, a player that Bob Kuchenberg of Miami said is the best defensive end he's played against.
I think his improvement has really been consistent, Don. He started off, he's had injuries that have set him back, but
Illegal motion. The right side of the offensive line failed to set for 1 second before the snap. Repeat 1st down.
Looks like it might be his right ankle.
well, it's so tough to come by real good pass rushing defensive linemen, and Klecko has become one of those. Let's see if we can find out where it was that he. At the top of the screen, that's number 73. We can see him limping, but we couldn't see the contact. But boy, that's a blow to the Jets if they're going to play good defense.
Rookie comes in his stead, Kenny Neal, first-year player from Iowa State, number 77, left defensive end for the Jets. Steelers are firing but falling back. They now have first down and 25 to go. Bradshaw goes to the run. Franco comes ahead for not much yards. Jets close down quickly. Troy, the strong safety, was up. It's going to be second down and about 23. Steelers have consecutive home games against AFC Eastern opponents. New England comes in here next Sunday. Very interesting, that story in '76. I think a lot of people had forgotten that, John, that Pittsburgh came out of the blocks losing 4 of its first 5, and as Chuck Knowles said, we weren't just bad, we were awful. Then they got it together. Won 10 straight games, including a playoff game, until they went to Oakland. The AFC title game, their starting runners weren't there. They couldn't play. Blyer and Franco, and the Raiders went out to win that game and the Super Bowl. January '77.
Hey, they fooled Bradshaw that time. They put 11 men on the line of scrimmage. He saw what he wanted to come to, but he saw it late. Now it'll be a little first down and about 28 to go.
10:25 left to play in the first half, and the Steelers are in the lead 10-0.
Delay of game. Offense. Still second down.
Second down, 27.
Second down and 27 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. At their 47. He's going to throw it a long way just to get the first down, and he does! Stallworth is there. What a play by Pittsburgh. It's a first down. Another fantastic pass-catch combination. 28 yards and a Steeler first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Jets really were in a zone defense. They lined up 11 men on the line of scrimmage. They retreated as swiftly as they could. This is just perfect execution. Look at how much time Bradshaw has to throw. Look at the lane. Look how well you can see. When you can see your receiver that well, you're going to hit him right in his arm, picks up the first down, and their drive's still alive.
Great pictures. Our producer today for NBC is Kenneth Edmondson. Our director, Andy Rosenberg. We're coming to you from Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Don Cricky with John Brody, 10:19 to play first half. Steelers on the march and leading 10-0. Bright sun breaks through now over Pittsburgh. The Steelers go to the run, and here comes Pollard. He's got room to go inside the 10. And Pollard goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. So if the Steelers are in demise, they certainly are not today. A 24-yard run, and Pittsburgh extends its lead to 16-0.
All right, Don, I guess so many people say establish the run so you can throw. Here's a perfect example of a team that has established that they are going to fire the ball all over the field. They've done it effectively against the linebackers playing soft. When the linebackers start playing soft, your running backs get to the line of scrimmage unmolested. When they do, the defensive backs have no chance. He just runs it in for the score.
50 yards and 7 plays. Frank Pollard gets some. Extra point by Trout is up and it's through. 10-11 left to go in the first half, and the Steeler juggernaut is back again, rolling here at Three Rivers. 17-0, Pittsburgh in the lead as we watch Pollard again go in for a touchdown. Thank you, Brian. Cleveland, another team needing a win badly. Sohn fields a line drive at the goal line. Kurt Sohn takes it across the 20. He's in open field for a moment. And then Donnie Shell, who's an all-pro strong safety, but still plays on those kickoff teams, puts the dead hit on him.
All right, now the Jets have their back to the wall, but when we talk about Pittsburgh being on the skids and being a little too old, you watch the effort. We're going to see a touchdown run that was caused not by number 44, but by number 82, John Stallworth, who takes his cornerback down toward the end zone, makes a key block. You know how hard it is to make a block on a cornerback in the open field? He knocks Lynn completely out of the play, and Pollard runs it in. I'd say these guys are after it.
They sure are. And right now, the Jets have first down and 10 coming up from just across the field. Tom Newton runs and gets the ball close to the 35-yard line. Gain of 4. It's going to be second down and 6. Dirk Winston, 53, veteran linebacker from Arkansas, made the stop for Pittsburgh. You look down the list of those Steelers. So many of them have 4 Super Bowl championship rings. There's the Steeler possessions. 3 of 4 have paid off in points. First one they were moving the ball, you recall, and had the fumble, and the Jets took it over. Television Network.
WJAC TV Johnstown.
Richard Todd has thrown the ball 9 times today, has completed 2 for 22 yards.
And Don, you know, that is not indicative of the way he's thrown the ball. He has not had receivers open. Because you have a dozen eggs does not mean you can cook an omelet, you know. He's got some people that can get open, but by design, they have to be given the best opportunity. Oh,
He's got a man there. Harper is open over the middle, and the Jets get the big gainer they need so badly down to the 46-yard line, a 25-yard gain on the play.
Don, that's exactly what they have to do. It was a late play. They allowed all the defenders to go back, get into their zones. They were 16, 17 yards deep. Todd had enough protection to come to Harper late. When you get that opportunity, you can do a lot of things offensively.
I just saw on the sideline, excuse me, John, Joe Walton, you played against many times.
Played with him in the Hula Bowl, and that was about 30 years ago. And
Joe, the offensive coordinator, he calls the plays for Richard Todd. Handoff, Freeman McNeil. You'll remember his 30-yarder earlier. He's not going to get one here. In fact, he's not going to get to the line of scrimmage. Lauren Taves, 51, led the Steeler charge. And there is a penalty marker down.
came late, too. I don't know what it was.
McNeil out of UCLA, a player that his coach Terry Donahue said was the heart of our football team. He averaged over 123 yards a game rushing for the UClans last year. Big play athlete. Hall's going to go against the Steelers, so the Jets are beneficiaries of this penalty call with 8:24 to go in the first half.
They've got to get it on the board, Don.
Sure do. Down 17-0. There's Joe Walton with his hat on backwards. He said he didn't like to read that stuff about long practices.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 58, defense, first down.
Jack wouldn't do anything like that, would he?
Once in a while.
Take a look. It was thrown late. You see Chris Ward. We didn't see the action.
Now the Steeler fans call for the defense to rise up as the Jets. Richard Todd throws and he gets his man. Well thrown ball to Bobby Jones, turning in at the 20-yard line. There's a penalty marker down in the Jet backfield. A 10-yard gain to the line of scrimmage. With 8:17 to play in the first half. It's coming back though. Jets got caught.
That's okay. You can handle some of those penalties if you're throwing the ball well. Your receivers are running good patterns. That time Lamb Jones cleared out the secondary. He enabled Bobby Jones to get open underneath, and the more you throw, the more things open up. The more you see what you can do and take advantage of, and I like the way they're approaching it right now.
Holding, number 24, offense, repeat first down.
Jets had a big problem with penalties last week. 14 were called. Actually, 14 were taken by Cincinnati. 19 were called against the Jets. 5 were refused. They've been much better than that today. They've had very few.
One-on-one, Anthony Washington.
First and 20 for the Jets. Steeler cornerbacks up tight on the Jets wide receivers. Here comes the blitz.
Go down to Walker.
Long ball. Wesley Walker is up and the rookie Washington. I'm telling you.
Okay, they went to the right place. They came up broke. Go at it again. If they give you that look, go at it again. It wasn't a well-thrown ball. Look, Walker gets to an even spot. Now, there's nobody, if that ball's thrown over Washington's head, that's going to handle Wesley. Washington played it well, but couldn't handle a well-thrown ball.
Anthony Washington, a rookie cornerback from Fresno State. Steelers have lost 2 cornerbacks on the left side. They lost their starter, Ron Johnson. He's out with an ankle injury. He'll be back probably next week. And his backup, Dwayne Woodruff, went out with a forehead laceration. So a rookie's playing. Todd throwing on 2nd and long, and he gets a man, Newton, but he doesn't get much. Gets back to about the 35-yard line. They'll spot him out of bounds closer to the 30. 2nd down and 20 play. Jets still have a long way to go.
They've got about 10 to go down, but one good pass play will pick that up, and I'm not sure at this point they might not be thinking they've got 2 downs to pick it up. Field goals are not going to get them back in the game.
They're down 17-0. Joe Walton was at Washington as offensive coordinator before coming to the Jets. Joe Theismann attributed his rise to one of the better quarterbacks and a journeyman to Walton's expertise in coaching. He's really helped Richard Todd, too, has Walton. It's 3rd down and 11 now for the Jets.
the blitzer, but Todd never saw him.
Now the Jets will try another long field goal attempt, looking to come out of this drive with some points, not coming out empty again. You recall Leahy tried one from 52 yards, was plenty long, but just wide to the right. Pat Ryan holds. Again, Leahy's plenty long. This time it looks he's got it right through the middle. So the Jets are on the board with 7:57 left to play in the first half. The Jets get the long field goal from Pat Leahy, and it's now 17-3 game Pittsburgh, and we'll be back at Three Rivers Stadium after this. Thank you, Brian. Back in Pittsburgh, the Jets have their first points of the day on the field goal by Pat Leahy. It's now 17-3 game. Leahy kicks off. Larry Anderson at the 2-yard line for Pittsburgh. To the 20. Here's a marker coming in as Anderson goes down to the 20. Jesse Johnson came down to make the tackle. Penalty marker down probably against the Steelers with 7:47 left to play in the first half.
Miami game. Houston leads 7-6 on a pass from Stabler to Burrows of 71 yards.
Well,
There's the last remaining Super Bowl Jet, Randy Rasmussen, left guard.
right behind him is Wesley Walker, a man that you know is a little frustrating. When a receiver can get him a rookie cornerback one-on-one with him all over the field.
Number 61 above the waist during the return. First and 10.
Tyrone McGriff got caught on the return blocking. So the Steelers are sent back to their 10-yard line. This hasn't been a problem before, though. You'll recall their first touchdown was the result of an 89-yard drive. Bradshaw looking to get some yards in a hurry. Throws out. Ball is caught nicely by Pollard. Did a good job to get that low pass and takes it across the 15-yard line. Got 6. Lincoln knocked him down. It'll be second down and 4.
That's good structure. Their passing game, they send their wide receivers out long. Pollard comes out of the backfield on a little check late. None of the linebackers blitz, so he releases, and Bradshaw understands he's there. They pick up 5 instead of getting nothing. Good design and good execution.
Bradshaw's a big quarterback, but he's the smallest of the 3 of the Steelers carry. He's 6'3", 218. Stout is 6'4", 220, and Mark Malone 6'4", 228. It's second down and a short 4 for Pittsburgh. Bradshaw stalwart again. He's just burying a limb when he's been in there. Took him deep, cut back, ball was right there. 13-yard gain, first down Pittsburgh.
Remember, that was Don Dykes.
Don Dykes.
They've been alternating them. They're trying to put pressure on them, show them different pictures, and they've been effective against everybody.
Starworth having a big day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's caught 5 now for 95 yards. Clock is running in the second quarter. 6.5 minutes to go in the half. Steelers lead the game 17-3. First down and 10, Pittsburgh at the Steelers 29. Pollard's open again. Getting driven back, but he got out to the 35-yard line. Gain of about 9 yards.
I tell you, your offensive line gives you that kind of protection. It's just pick and hit. He's releasing five receivers out of the... He's only got his 5 offensive linemen blocking. Other than that, everybody's out for a long one.
Bradshaw's completed 11 of 19 so far. 175 yards. Gary Bradshaw ringing up some big numbers, throwing the ball. Second down and short yards. He goes for the home run. Lynn Swan goes way up. Jerry Holmes was with him. Jim Smith was the man way up in the air, coming down without the ball, though. And it's going to be third down and about 2 yards to go for the first down for Pittsburgh.
Holmes has covered Swan pretty well when he's been put in that position. They were trying to get to Bradshaw. They know they have to, because if you don't get to the quarterback, and a guy like Bradshaw has as much time as he's had to throw, I don't care how many people you've got back there, he's going to pick you apart.
Bradshaw's been something. I'll tell you something else. He's a nice guy with all the success. He wears it well. He really wants to play football again. There was the talk, of course, about him going to Hollywood making a television serial. The guy says he wants to play for at least 5 more years. He's 33, but very, very well conditioned. He might be around at least in the lineup now. His sprained ankle apparently quickly recovered, and he runs down Terry Bradshaw.
I don't think his ankle's recovered, Don, but he is one of those kind of guys that you can't keep out of the lineup if he can get his body moving.
You're right, he is limping off.
There's a lot of purpose in that man. He does not want to miss this. He knows the importance of this ball game to the Jets and their whole franchise. They've got to get off and get something humming. He's going to do what he can to help.
I know you don't want Klecko falling on your quarterback. That ankle or not, he can give you a bit. Punt by Colquitt is an excellent punt. Way back. Kirk's zone at his 20. He's very fast. This is going to come back as 3 penalty markers go down. It was a clip against the Jets. Might have been Donald Dykes. Larry Anderson got hit from behind. A 53-yard punt. When you tack on the penalty yardage against the Jets, it's going to set the Jets far back beyond the 53 yards. They'll go to 63. 53 yards in punt yardage, 10 yards in penalty yards as the ball set back, and Joe Klecko on the sideline. Taped up again.
I think he's changing shoes too, Don.
He took care of that Munoz the other day from Cincinnati. Not too many guys do that.
Illegal block above the waist during the return. Number 26 receivers. First down.
So the Jets are set all the way back now inside their 10-yard line. First down and 10 from the 9. Steelers leading 17-3. Tom Newton turns upfield. Got about 4 before Gary Dunn, the defensive tackle from Miami of Florida, 67 tackled him.
You look at the little things that indicate whether a team is still after it, and right on that particular play, Freeman McNeil came out leading Newton, got a real good block on the linebacker, and actually picked up the 4 yards with the block.
Game clock now winds down to 4:30 to play in the first half. Penalties have been a big problem, as you see. The graphic, the Jets the most penalized team in the National Football League for the first couple of weeks. Newton runs again. Steelers are right there. Gary Dunn throws him down. So it'll be third down coming up for Pittsburgh for the Jets. Right now, let's go to New York and Brian Gumbel.
Well, Don, a pair of unbeatens are going at it at Arrowhead Stadium, and Kansas City has jumped out in front of San Diego. First on the board, Ted McKnight from a yard out. Point after is good, and the Chiefs lead the Chargers 7-0. Don?
And here at Pittsburgh, as you see, it's 17-3 Steelers. Jets coming out of the huddle now, third down and a long 2 coming up. Bradshaw getting some counsel from the assistant coaches up in the press box. The receiving backs are in for the Jets. Scott Durkin and Bruce Harper. Whoop, there's a sack. Steelers don't get many, and they like it when they do. Gary Dunn gets it. Last year, the Steelers were last in the National Football League in sacks. Had only 18 for a whole season. They get Richard Todd on a third down play, and the Jets will have to punt it back to Pittsburgh. LC was coming, double team.
Well, you can tell when a guy hasn't been back there for a while, can't you?
Chuck Ramsey's ready to punt the ball now for the Jets. They'll have to get it away from his end zone. Steelers set up a return. Jim Smith drifting back to his 46-yard line. Jets catch him, knock him down. Al Washington, rookie linebacker, got him a 49-yard punt. Return of only 3 yards. So, with 3:06 left to play in the first half, the Pittsburgh Steelers in front 17-3. They'll go on offense, first and 10 when we come back to Three Rivers. The pressure has been on in New York for Walt Michaels, coach of the Jets now in his 5th year. And the pressure has been on today because the Pittsburgh Steeler offense has really moved the ball, primarily behind the passing of Terry Bradshaw. 185 yards throwing with 11 completions and 20 attempts. Pollard goes to the run on a first down carry for Pittsburgh and gets the ball close to the 46-yard line. Short gain, Klecko on a stop for the Jets. Atlanta opening up a 24-10 lead over the 49ers now at Atlanta. Minnesota and Detroit tied up 14-all in the second quarter at Bloomington, Minnesota. Tight one between the Cardinals and the Redskins. St. Louis leading by 2 in the second quarter. Kansas City, unbeaten so far this season at home against San Diego and leading 7-0. Chiefs have a good defense. It is now 2nd down and 9 for Pittsburgh. Ball at the 47-yard line of the Jets.
He's coming outside to Swan if he can find him.
He's throwing deep. He's going to Swan indeed, but Holmes breaks the play up. Jerry Holmes covering Lynn Swan. John?
You know what, Don, you can sit there and you can say, hey, they've been beaten, they have. One man that hasn't, and they've been putting responsibility after responsibility on him, is Holmes. Jerry Holmes is a second-year quarterback. He's in a situation where he hasn't been starting for him. They stick him in there to play possibly the trickiest wide receiver in the game, and he's been covering him like a blanket.
Well, he's going to get a chance to do it again, I think. He'll be coming back to that.
You bet. I'll tell you, that's the difference of the two thought processes is you find Swan on Holmes, Bradshaw's going to go broke trying to get to him, and on the other side, Walker has had a situation on Washington and they haven't come to him.
It's 3rd and 9 now. Let's watch Bradshaw drop in again. He eludes the rush, but he does not get the first down yardage.
Salam
From behind. Yep, Salam got him from behind. Bradshaw would have gone a long way had he beaten that one man. So now the Steelers send out their punter, Craig Colquitt, with 2 minutes to play in the first half.
And those are the good indicators, Don. These kids, they're not quitting. They're still playing their game. They just have to get some points.
They had a long way to go as Pittsburgh is up 17-3. We'll return to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right after this. The Steelers ready to punt. Craig Colquitt ready to hit it back from about his 47. He'll take the snap at the 44. Quick punter, doesn't have many return. Picks it high, he does here. Sohn takes it though and goes out of bounds. Ball will be the Jets at the 15-yard line. 1:53 left to play in the first half. 30-yard punt. Angled out at the 15. So now let's see if the Jets come out. John, you felt they had some overmatches when there was a rookie cornerback in for Pittsburgh. He's still in there, Anthony Washington.
Well, sometimes, you know, you get directions from the sideline, and I really don't know where it's coming from. But I do know if I'm sitting under the center, there must be some audibles that I have at my disposal when I see Wesley Walker on number 42 out here all alone. And we've got the same picture again.
Wesley Walker's out on the right flank. Derek Gaffney's on the left. 1st and 10 Jets. Hot throws, and he gets Scott Turkey. It's away from one tackler. The Jets come up with some good yards. First down pass play is good out to the 26-yard line. The 2nd down and 3.
Okay, they're going quick. They're getting on the ball. They must have called 2 plays.
1:34 to play. First down. Scott Turkey runs. The Steelers are there to shut down the run. Dirt Winston, number 53, got him. You see the game clock winding down in the second quarter. Dirt needs some attention. He's hobbled. It's a hard field here in Pittsburgh. 3rd and 5. Here's the throw. There's the hit. Did he get there? He needed to get to the 28-yard line for the first down.
If they give him where he caught the ball, he will have the first down. They did, and he has it.
1 minute to go now. We're inside a minute as you see the clock wind down 56 seconds. Halftime, we'll be going to New York. Ryan Gumbel and NFL 81 a complete update, the scores and the highlights. Here's the throw off the hands of Scott Turkey, who caught the last one. That stops the clock. 48 seconds left to play in the half. Steelers open up a 17-0 lead. Jets came back and got their only points in a Pat Leahy field goal, and that's how it stands now. 17-3, Steelers in the lead.
Do you remember, Don, we talked early in the game that what the Jets have to do is create something offensively. I know they're trying to take Wesley Walker away. Sometimes they put 2 defenders on him. So what? You've got to beat him anyway.
Throws, he has a man open. A great reception. Bobby Jones coming across the middle. A lot of guys don't like to run in that area of the field. Jones, you saw that hit earlier when a Steeler corner had to leave the game after he hit so hard. Now, 20-yard gain is on the board for the Jets. They have a first down with virtually no time. Unless they keep on pumping, they take a timeout.
All right, right in the hole.
So we'll return to Three River Stadium in just a moment. The announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. Don Crickey with John Brody. 40 seconds to play in the first half. Jets have the ball. 1st and 10. They trail 17-3. Tip ball. Up for grabs. Nobody gets it.
play by Jerome Barkham, Don, just to keep the ball from being intercepted.
Gary Dunn got it on the one hop, but that doesn't count. So 34 seconds on the clock, and the Jets go back into their huddle. Clock stopped on the incomplete pass. Eric Gaffney, one wide receiver. Wesley Walker is the other. Lamb Jones still on the sidelines. Has caught only one ball so far this season for the Jets. One pass for 32 yards. Steelers get their second sack, and his penalty marker's down also in the Jet backfield. Gary Dunn was through again. Not as excited this time. Number 2 is part of the business day.
Just another day at the plant now, huh?
Jerome Barkham came in as the Jets' leading receiver. He caught 10 in the first 2 games. 2 tackles pinching in, Joe Green and Gary Dunn.
Nowhere to go when they all meet back at the quarterback.
Joe Green, the first draft choice of the Chuck Noll era. Came out of North Texas State. Billed as a player you could build a defense around. The Steelers did. Then the next year, Bradshaw came in, and the Pittsburgh championship offense was underway. Ball is at the 40-yard line of the New York Jets. Third down is coming up. Third down about 19, and time very much a factor. Only 30 seconds remaining in the first half with the Steelers in the lead 17-3. Jets have converted only 2 of 7 previous third downs. Eric Gaffney goes out to the left. Wesley Walker to the right. 2 small backs who catch the ball well. Harper and Durkee behind Todd. Catches the ball, works to get out of bounds, and does. There's a penalty marker down. It's going to be against Pittsburgh.
That could be a 7-point penalty. That could get him right back in the ball game.
The third and 19 play, and the Jets got only 5 yards on the pass play. But they're going to get a lot more now. Defensive penalty. Bring the ball over midfield, and the Jets will have new downs to work with.
Face mask, number 42, defense, automatic first down.
Anthony Washington, the rookie corner, 42 is called for the face mask, so the ball goes out to the midfield stripe, and the Jets get a first down on a defensive penalty.
They've only got 23 seconds to work with, but they have plenty of time to get a completion down to the 30. If they do that, they can throw a couple balls in the end zone.
Miami's now gone in front of Houston on another Von Schaumann field goal, 9-7. Dolphins lead. First and 10, they go to the run and get the ball inside the 45-yard line. The game clock is down to 17 seconds. Coming up at halftime, NFL 81. All the scores and the stories. Bryant Gumbel standing by in New York as the Jets now try to get a long playoff. Time running out. Todd throws it out. Incomplete. 2 seconds left. They have the time up on the Pittsburgh scoreboard, about letters about 20 feet high. 2 seconds, 2 ticks left, and Todd's looking right at it.
Their case is about closed. You run a draw play with 23 seconds left and don't have a timeout left, you're in trouble.
One last play now, John, and here comes Todd taking his offense out. Gaffney left and Wesley Walker right. Long ball. Who got it? 2 guys came down with it. Clock ran out, though. There'll be no more time for play if the Jets did get it. The official's not sure who did. So the first half comes to an end as the Pittsburgh Steelers, looking for their first win of this season, open up with an impressive offense and 17 points. They lead 17-3. At Three River Stadium, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Steelers have opened up a 17-3 halftime lead. Bradshaw came out throwing today and very successfully. Put the ball up 22 times, completed 12 for 185 yards. The touchdowns were scored on runs by power backs Russell Davis and Frank Pollard and a field goal. The Steelers are rolling right now. Let's find out about the rest of the league as we switch to New York to NFL 81 and Bryant Gumbel. Bryant?
Seconds before the end of the first half was they call a draw play when they're on the 40-yard line. They pick up 6 yards. They have 2 timeouts left, and they don't use one of them. Now, all all it exposes to me is that there's a lot of disorganization over on the Jets side of the bench. I mean, this is professional football. These fans come here to watch people take advantage of the clock, and they didn't do it. Now, this is just an indication of the way they've been playing, and they've got to stop it.
That guy sure has been playing well. Terry Bradshaw, we'll be watching him shortly. Right now, let's switch back to New York to NFL 81 and Bryant Gumbel. Bryant? Offensive coordinator. He'll be coming out on the field as the Steelers are ready to kick it off to start the second half. Trout is into the ball, hits another boomer. Zone wants to go, and he'll take it out from 5 yards deep. Kirk Zone flies up the middle, and so do penalty markers right behind him. So the Jets will go on offense 1st and 10, but they'll be set back. Steal a little wowie. Looks like Calvin Sweeney being helped off the field. And Coach Walt Michaels, again, watching his team behind. They had an unusual offense, did not score. Buffalo was just so great. I don't know if anybody could have beat him that day. I don't think the 5th Army could have moved on the Buffalo defense. Next week, the Jets scored 30, but that was 1 point less than they needed for a draw, at least, against Cincinnati. And today, they only have 3 points up on the field goal by Pat Leahy.
And I think more than anything,
Building a block above the waist, from behind, number 35, receiving team. First down.
Pittsburgh's defense is not doing anything that they didn't expect them to do. They've done the same thing for the last 5 or 6 years. They play 5 short zones. They put 2 men deep. Sometimes they play man-to-man on the corner. Sometimes they play zone. But in order to beat Pittsburgh, you have to get them to change their coverage a bit. Get concerned with people down the field. You have to create 2 patterns to beat a double coverage. And if you can't be successful doing that, you can't beat Pittsburgh. And today, the Jets have not tried to do it. And that's my concern.
Well, now they'll help to work from a hole. They'll be starting out at the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Jets. Calvin Sweeney, 85, was the man with the wobble coming off the field. And it was fouled by Augustiniak on the kick coverage. Handoff goes to Tom Newton. He cuts back, gets across the 10-yard line out to the 13, and Gary Dunn makes the tackle for Pittsburgh. Defensively, the Steelers have across the front L.C. Greenwood, Joe Green, Gary Dunn, and John Banaszak. Dirt Winston, Jack Lambert, and Lauren Taves back the line. The rookie Washington at one corner, Mel Blunt, the veteran, at the other, J.T. Thomas and Donnie Shell, the safeties. The Jets on offense, Joe Fields down over the ball at center with Rasmussen and Alexander the guards. Ward and Powell the tackles. Jerome Barkham the tight end. Pitch back. Freeman McNeil trying to go wide. Steelers are there, and a 1st down carry. 2nd down and 8 carry. He gets ahead for only about a yard. Lambert again feeling he's led the Steelers now in tackles for 7 straight years.
Big Jack, he gets out of there fast. They do everything to keep blockers off him. In the open field, he's as good a tackler as you'll find a linebacker to be. That time he got a little help before he had to jump in.
Likes to angle in behind Joe Green, kind of hide from the blockers.
I would too.
He makes a lot of plays that way. You're pointing out earlier, Joe Green and Lambert together. That has been some combination. Green now comes right over the ball. Throws downfield too high for Wesley Walker, turning in on the rookie cornerback who's covered well. They've only gone to Walker twice since Washington's been on him. And the Jets come up short again and will punt the ball.
Anthony Washington must feel like he's an all-pro today. They've got Wesley Walker on him. He makes a pretty good pattern. He's the kind of fellow that can beat a bump and run by going inside or outside. Breaks down at the point of attack. The ball was thrown high because of a good linebacker drop.
Chuck Ramsey, deep in his area, gets the punt away. Gets a good punt away. Spiral going back for it is Jim Smith. From the 36, turns the corner, and the Jets are there. Good kick coverage, a 48-yard punt by Ramsey. A return of only 2 yards. And the Steelers go on offense for the first time in the second half. 13-10 to play in the 3rd quarter when we come back to Pittsburgh. New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers, live from Three Rivers Stadium on NBC. Don Quickie with John Brody, Terry Bradshaw, and the Steeler offense going first and 10, their first possession of the second half. They lead 17-3. They go to the run. Frank Pollard, a hard-working back in his second year from Baylor, takes the ball straight ahead of the Jet defense. 2 tackles, Salam and Lyons knocked him down. Pollard's played well, but in the end zone once. Teamed up with Franco Harris at the moment behind Terry Bradshaw. John Stallworth and Lynn Swan, the wide receivers for Pittsburgh. The offensive line has played extremely well. Second down and 6 for the Steelers. Their 42-yard line. Pollard comes across in a slant and hits out close to the 45-yard line. He got about 3. Mark Gastineau at left end made the stop for the Jets. Let go the other defensive end. Linebackers for the Jets, Buttle, Blinka, and Mel. Defensive secondary has been changing around. They've been switching corners in and out. Donald Dyke's playing the right corner right now. Jerry Holmes at the left. And Shroy and Ray are the safeties. It's third down and about 2 now for the Steelers at their 45-yard line. Pitch back. Here comes Harris. Larry Brown out in front of him. Look at Franco Harris in the open field. Come down to the 38-yard line of the Jets. 20-yard run on the play as the Steeler blockers were out in front again.
Franco's ankle seems to have improved during the intermission. He's always had a very good burst, but look at Larry Brown out there, number 79, about 265 pounds, leading the way. I mean, that puts a burden on those defensive backs.
So Franco Harris with a productive day, 7 carries and 46 yards, 20 coming in that last run. Now the Steelers moving ahead the ball at the 38-yard line of the Jets, first and 10. Russell Davis up the middle, and more strong blocking from the Steeler offensive front. Corson and Wolfley the guards. Larry Brown and John Kolb the tackles, and the All-Pro Mike Webster the center. 5-yard gain on that run. The ball's down to the 33-yard line of New York.
They've still got Holmes out there all alone on Lynn Swan.
Lynn Swan is wide to the right. Shaw coming to the run. Here's a reverse. Stallworth has the ball. He's got blockers. Stallworth inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. So the Steelers go to their bag of tricks and get 20 more yards.
They've got him a little frustrated right now, Don. You cannot run reverses on a team that's loafing. The Jets are playing. They're pursuing as fast as they can. They're taking advantage of that pursuit. They catch somebody not staying at home, and they get a wide open field to run in, pick up the first down, and now it's first and 10 inside the 20 on the 16-yard line. They're playing good.
They are playing real good. Now they have the ball down to the 16-yard line of the Jets. First down and 10 there for Pittsburgh. Stallworth is wide left, Swan wide right, and here is Bradshaw right up the middle. He's going to get the block by Pollard. Another great block. Bradshaw bails out at the 5-yard line. Boy, that Pollard is just killing people out there with the blocks.
Hey, Stallworth came back and picked on the wrong man that time. If you're going to help on those defensive backs, he picked on the linebacker. Stan Blinka isn't exactly the guy to match up with.
No, but boy, that Pollard knocked another guy down, John, and spread the corner right out in the field, and then Bradshaw took it right down inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. So the Steelers have second down and less than a yard coming up. They lead this game 17-3. Up the middle, out of the blocks quickly, and he's down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. Joe Klecko and Stan Blinkus made the stop for the Jets, but the Steelers drive on. 4 more downs now, and they're inside the 5-yard line of the Jets with 10:38 to play in the third quarter. Lynn Swan now goes out, and Randy Grossman comes in, double tight end. Grossman isn't big, but he's a good blocker. They line him up as a wing. He's coming out to the right as a wing. A lot of times you'll see come in motion back to the left side. And he'll lead the blocking into the end zone down close. This time they run off tackle. Pollard takes the ball down to the 3-yard line. Abdul Salam throws him back. Virtually no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Steelers.
One of the toughest calls in football. 3rd down and 3 inside the 5-yard line. Almost have to throw the ball. And there isn't much room to complete it. This is 2nd, however. Not quite as tough to play.
Yeah, let's see what they do now. Bradshaw has used all the plays today. Most of them have gone for yardage. 2nd down and goal for the Steelers. There's Grossman in motion. They come back behind him. Now Franco cuts straight ahead and gets down to the 1. 3rd down and goal for Pittsburgh inside the New York Jet 1-yard line, and Walt Michaels and his New York Jets down again. Last week they had a 17-3 lead. The margin they trail by at the moment over Cincinnati. Looked like they had the game locked late in the 4th quarter. Bengals coming back to win 31-30. Now the Steelers threatening to almost put the lid on here if they can take it in. Jets will have to come out throwing successfully to get back in it. Bradshaw calls his own number. Number 12 goes into the end zone, and the Steelers are on the board again. It's 23-3. yards in 10 plays, and that's just what they're doing.
They just reach into their hat and pull out a play, and it seems to be effective. You can see the last 10 days of work has had quite an effect. The Steelers are still a class football team. They're showing it today.
They surely are. Now Trout will try the point after, and he drills it up and good. So with 8:39 left to play in the third quarter, the Pittsburgh Steelers have opened up a 24-3 lead. We'll be back at Three Rivers Stadium with the Steelers kickoff after this. Back at Pittsburgh, the Steelers have been in the end zone again, and now they lead 24-3. Those of you watching in the New England area, very shortly we'll be switching you down to Houston to watch the Dolphins and the Houston Oilers. The viewers in New York and the Pittsburgh area will continue to see the entirety of this game as the Jets bring it back. Kenny Lewis returns the kickoff out to the New York Jet 30-yard line. Now Richard Todd and the Jet offense comes back out. See if the Jets are a dispirited team at this point. Down 24-3, they need a big play so badly with 8:30 to go in the third quarter.
They're very dispirited offensively, Don, and it's visible if you're sitting at 50 rows up. They need a couple of people to take over and run the show right now.
Wesley Walker, wide right. Gaffney over the middle. The ball is complete. This is Freeman McNeil. And McNeil, breaking a tackle, gets all the way out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 15 yards and a New York Jet first down. You haven't seen a lot of McNeil since early in the game when he ran that 30-yarder from scrimmage.
And he took a little 5-yard pass then. It was nothing but a layoff. Turned it into a first down. Case is closing for the Jets. They've got to put some points on the board.
Richard Todd, a deep drop on first down, throws over the middle, and the ball is intercepted by Pittsburgh's J.T. Thomas. He is promptly dropped by Bobby Jones, but the Steelers have the ball back. As right now, the Jets are in disarray, trailing 24-3.
Don, they're not executing well. This time he's got a chance. Donnie Shell reads the play before it is even run. Gaffney gets his hands on the ball, but it really wasn't an open execution anyway. And an interception results.
In a moment, we'll be switching part of our audience to the Houston-Miami game. So with 7:39 left to play here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, the score is the Steelers 24, the Jets 3. First and 10. Steelers with the ball. Bradshaw in the flat. Stallworth turning out in the corner, was open by 5 yards. Dykes playing way off him. Doesn't want to give him the long one, so he took one for 11.
Don't blame him.
Nope. It was there. First down yardage on the throw, and the Steelers move it upfield.
The game isn't too complicated, Don. When you have a fella of Stallworth's ability, there's no cornerback that can cover you on an out or a comeback and also cover you all the way down the field on a post or a corner. And that's all they do. They find out where the quarterback's playing them, they communicate in the huddle, and Bradshaw takes what's given.
Bradshaw ready to dump it off again. Flings it in the flat. Franco loses the ball. Takes a look at Buttle, who is cruising in. Free ball that Buttle almost got his hands on. So the clock is stopped now with 7:29 left to play in the third quarter. Steelers open up a 7-0 first quarter lead. Led 17-0 in the second quarter. 17-3 at halftime. It's now 24-3 Pittsburgh. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WJAC-TV, Johnstown.
Lynn Swan, wide to the right. John Stallworth on the left bank. Don Crickey and John Brody, second down and 10 for the Steelers at Pittsburgh. Leading 24-3, they go to Franco Harris. He rips it off up the middle. 9-yard gain down to the Jet 45.
When you throw the ball as effectively as they do, the linebackers have got to start checking their drops. When they do, you can run trap plays galore. Linebackers are the ones who stop trap plays. There weren't any in the way on that trip.
Excellent block by the second-year guard from Syracuse, Craig Wolfley. As he took the middle linebacker Blinker right out of the play. Third down and 1 for the Steelers, Jet 45-yard line. Franco accelerates. With little stutters, sends the gap, and then he shoots into it, gets the first down.
How many times have you seen that play? He's been making it work for 10 years.
Franco Harris, the third leading rusher all time, and the greatest playoff rusher in the history of pro football.
And I think his secret, Don, as we look at Lou Michaels, and he has to be dejected. His whole club is, and they're playing it very dispiritedly at this time, particularly on offense. Their defense is hanging in there, but the Steelers are executing so well it does them very little good.
There's not a whole lot when everything's going right on the Steeler offense. Now they go to the blitz. There's a throw in the flat. Penalty marker's down. It's going to go against Jerry Holmes of the Jets. Or is it going against Swan?
I don't know who it's going
here. Penalty marker was thrown way downfield. We'll see who is guilty of the bump.
I get the feeling it was on Swan. I think he pushed off. He did. Looked right there. He pushes off. That's good coverage. When you can get an offensive receiver to be concerned with you when you're playing him one-on-one, as Holmes has Swan all day, you're doing your job. And then some.
But for the most part, the Steeler passing game has been...
There is no flag. What would have been offensive interference is not, because the ball could not have been caught by anybody in any case.
Well, that's true. It was a rather suspect throw. That's a sign of apathy right there. When things are going against you, you only laugh if it's an overloading amount.
Back in New York, John, as you know, Walt Michaels took a unbelievable beating in certain areas of the press. Could be another rough week, Coach Michaels. Second down and 10 now for the Steelers at the 38-yard line, the New York Jets.
Going out to Franco.
Gonna run it again. Hey, that guy can go when he sees that 12th man on the sideline. 10-yard gain for Terry Bradshaw.
Those guys are so well coordinated. coordinated when Bradshaw does start running loose. That time he got a good block from Franco, who helped him pick up an extra 3 or 4 yards. There's a big difference between second or third and 2. Third and about a half.
He said before the game, we're going to come out, we're going to open it up. I think we're going to score a lot of points. So far, they've put 24 up.
And they've made their reverses work. They've made their wide plays work, and they've done so because the corners have put all their attention on the wide receivers, have not been in any sort of force position. So anytime they get outside, they can go.
It's now third down and less than a yard for the Steelers. 30-yard line of the Jets. They've been getting a lot of stuff straight ahead. Franco does it again. Boy, is he quick. He is so big. They list him at 6'2", 225, but you stand next to him, he seems a lot bigger than that. And fast. What a back. Down his 10th year out of Penn State. Got 67 yards today, and you see Bradshaw's numbers. And down for minus 145 passing. He's got a lot more than that. He's over 200 yards for the day. Now Bradshaw sets the Steeler offense, 25-yard line, first down and 10. Whoops, lost the ball, got it back, but there's a loss to the 36-yard line. 3 guys running deep, including Benny Cunningham over the middle.
Yeah, that happens a lot, though. When you get a safety blitz and the man comes clean after your quarterback, you're going to have some receivers running free, but the quarterback has to get the ball going forward. He's very lucky it bounced back to him.
Second down.
Sid Thornton's now in the game. Second down and 20 coming up for the Steelers, 35-yard line of the New York Jets. 4:49 to play in the third quarter.
11 men on the line of scrimmage again. They're coming.
Go to a draw. Filled nicely. There's a lot of room to go, but Lampsmell made the play.
When you've got a safety blitz, Don, all of those fellows have a lane, and there aren't many holes.
The unbeaten Falcons of Atlanta opening up a big lead over San Francisco. Detroit now ahead of Minnesota, 23-17 in the third quarter. St. Louis and Washington, high-scoring game in the third quarter at Busch Stadium. Benny Cunningham is out now. 3 wide receivers are in the game for Pittsburgh. Third down, 25. Here's a throw, and Stallworth is open. Once again, the Steelers go to the big play on long yardage third down. First down, Steelers, and a penalty marker down. A 28-yard gain on the play. Stallworth has been killing them.
Great design. You give a guy like John Stallworth a chance to run in the middle of the field where he can break to either the inside or the outside. You give your quarterback time to throw. They can pick up 26 to 7 yards. Very well-designed play.
I'm telling you, he's having a day. Bradshaw and Stallworth, this looks like one of the Super Bowl days.
And it's a perfect example of a man beating 2 defenders. They're double-teaming
Personal
Stallworth.
foul, unnecessary roughness, number 29, defense, first down, goal to go.
Johnny Lynn called for unnecessary roughness, and so the ball is set closer to the Jet goal. It's down to the 7-yard line. First in the goal there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3:53 to play third quarter, and the Steelers in the lead 24-3. Stallworth takes the ball at the 2-yard line, goes into the end zone. Going to be down to the 1-yard line. That's where they spot him, where he was caught and thrown back.
And it's also a correct call. He had him in his grasp, let go, and that's when Stallworth got away. But it's a very alert play by Bradshaw, a guy who sees everything covered to the right side, comes back to a receiver he knows might be open. Stallworth had gone all the way in the end zone, came right back toward the quarterback, and gave him an opportunity for a couple-yard gain.
John Stallworth, another product of some of those masterful Pittsburgh drafts. He came out as a 4th-round choice out of Alabama A&M 8 years ago. Having a career day. He has 8 receptions for the day. Now it's second down and goal from inside the 2. Pollard goes over the goal line for a second time, and the Steelers open up a 30-3 lead. Jets. If this was a fight, they'd stop it. 30-3 is the score. Pittsburgh in the lead. David Trout puts up another one, and the Steelers extend their lead now to 31-3. So, we'll be back to Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. The Steelers on the road to win number 1. That's how we'll break down in the NFC Central Division. Cincinnati 2-0 on Bay, Houston 2-0 at the moment, and the Steelers heading for victory number 1. 31-3 lead. Here's the kickoff. Kirksone brings it out of the end zone for the Jets. He's out to the 20, out to the 25. That is the deal for the Jets as they go on offense once again. The New York Jets hoping to get off the schneid today and get something going, and they've had one of their worst days of this season, and there have been some long ones. Shutout defeated Buffalo. Big lead, and then the subsequent loss late in the game to Cincinnati last week, and now Coach Walt Michaels and his Jets down 31-3 in the third quarter against a Pittsburgh team that had a bad start this year, but looks like the Steelers we've known through the 70s when they became the premier team in professional football. Steeler defense wants more of it. They're digging right in, going after Todd on a rollout. Richard Todd takes a look, throws back, incomplete. It'll be second down and 10. So second down coming up. Let's switch back to New York and Bryant Gumbel. Bryant?
Well, down in the Dome, the Oilers-Dolphins ball game still very much up for grabs, and so is this Don Strock pass. Hits Dorial Harris, winds up in the arms of Ted Washington, and the Oilers are on the move, but still trailing the ball game in the third period, 9-7. Don?
All right. Lots of things happening down in the Astrodome. And what's been happening here at Three River Stadium has been the Pittsburgh Steeler offense and a defense that shut down the Jets and held them to 3 points through almost 3 quarters of play. Richard Todd hands off. Tom Newton tries to run, but he finds 270-pound Joe Green there to throw him down at the 23-yard line. Third down coming up for the Jets. Lost yardage on the play. It'll be third down and 13. 2 minutes and 12 seconds left to play in the third quarter. The Jets still looking to get something going. Zach Valentine in the game as a linebacker for the Steelers. Todd with third and 13. J.T. Thomas fakes the blitz and drops back in zone coverage. Here's a throw. Wesley Walker ran an in pattern. The ball came out incomplete, and the Jets will have to punt.
Don, this game's gone a little more than out of control. The patterns are not being run sharply. The quarterback seems totally confused, and the whole offensive line, who is trying to do their job, finds it almost impossible under these conditions. It almost looks like the dam has broken.
Yeah, the Jets are in flames right now. Chuck Ramsey on the field to punt again for the New York Jets. Jim Smith and Larry Anderson back. Punt and snaps him in on a 1-hop, and here's an end-over-end kick downfield. Takes a jet hop down to the 30-yard line, and there the Steelers go back on offense. First and 10 with 1:45 left to play in the third quarter. 47-yard punt. Little solace on the Jets sideline right now. Don Crickey with John Brody back at Three River Stadium, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As you mentioned, John, the dam is broken for the New York Jets.
It has, and it leads to all the speculation that's been going on around New York over the past couple of weeks, and we're going to have to get into some of it throughout the next quarter and a half of play. The Steelers are just playing so well, but it's not all that.
1:45 to play in the third quarter. Bradshaw takes a look long. There's a man out there, but it's overthrown. Jim Smith turned back. Let's check out the rest of the National Football League. Back to New York, to NFLE1 and Bryant Gumbel.
Okay, Don, we're keeping an eye on that battle down in the Astrodome, and Houston has just gone back out in front of the Miami Dolphins on a Tony Frisch field goal from 40 yards in the third period. Oilers 10, Dolphins 9. Don?
Good one in the Astrodome. Good one for the Steelers at Three River Stadium. Walt Michaels, there's not a thing he can do at this point. I mean, you come in with a game plan and not been executed. Whatever the problems are, and there are many, the Jets are in disarray at the moment, trailing 31-3. Tough times for the Jets. Buttle makes the tackle. He's still hitting hard. Gain of only a yard.
I think their defensive players are all hitting hard. I don't think it's a lack of effort out there. I think it's a lack of organization and feeling like they're in it. I think a lot of them are lost right now. And you take a look at where you point the finger, and it's a crummy thing to start pointing a lot of fingers. But there are areas that are responsible. And if your team's being beaten 31-3, when other people think you have talent to be able to compete with that group, and it happens 2 or 3 times out of 3. You have to take a look at the responsible areas.
Bradshaw throws over the middle, intercepted and lost. Oh man, Kenny Troy might have taken it the distance. Had his hands on the ball, but could not hold on. So it goes as an incomplete pass, and Colquitt's out for one of the rare punts the Steelers have put in the air this afternoon. Steelers turned the ball over. You'll remember their first drive. They took it down the field and then fumbled the ball in a run, and the Jets got it back when the Steelers were really moving. And it looked like shades of the opening day against Kansas City when they turned the ball over 7 times, what was later described by Chuck Noll, their coach, as a team effort. Since then, the Steelers have not turned it over once since that first drive. Look at this. When it rains, it pours. Colquitt turns the corner. He's going to be close to a first down. I don't think he got there, though.
Not quite.
That could be on the highlight reel.
He did a pretty good job after he was going out of bounds. He saw he got a block, tried to stay in bounds, and almost picked it up.
And you look at Walt Michaels across the way. He played, of course, as did Chuck Noll. They were teammates together on 2 National Football League championship teams with the Cleveland Browns. You asked Joe Namath or any of the Jets who played on the 1968 team that in January of 1969 won the Super Bowl III. They'll tell you there wasn't anybody we've Eubank, Joe Namath, any member of that organization who meant more to the win in the winning season than Walt Michaels, who was defensive coordinator. Now, as a head coach with the Jets in his 5th year, the product has not been there. It looked like it was a couple of years ago when they went 8-8, 2 consecutive 8-8 years. The winning percentage into the 5th year now is below 33%. And today, it has been an awesome show by the Steelers, compounded by, as you pointed out, John Brody, some lack of preparation on the part of the Jets.
Well, I'm saying lack of preparation, and I'm talking about structure, not on individual people's part. When you play a team like Pittsburgh, you know you have to get your receivers down the field.
Second down and 3. Jets try to run the ball and 2 as Tom Newton takes it inside the 30-yard line and down close to the 29. And that is the gun ending the 3rd quarter. At the end of the 3rd quarter, the score is the Pittsburgh Steelers 31, the New York Jets 3. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Thank you, Brian. 3rd down and less than a yard for the New York Jets. One of their few penetrations of the Pittsburgh end of the field. Just short of the Pittsburgh 30. Todd calls his own number and gets a first down. Banaszak got him. Opening play of the 4th quarter here at Three River Stadium.
We just saw a picture of Walt Michaels, and I guess if you played this game and you've been involved with coaching staffs and structures throughout the years, what really rips a guy's guts out, and also a team's, is when you see a guy that's been on your side, he's been in the middle of creating something that you really feel big about, and you sit back and you watch people week after week tear you apart. Now, there's no doubt about the fact that New York is as critical an area to coach a football team as any in the world. And right now you can see on his face that he is lost as to how do we get this thing together. I'm watching this thing go down the tube, and if he had any answers, he'd be employing them right now. And that's the part that really makes you sick.
The throw goes to Newton down to the 23-yard line. I had breakfast with Walt Michaels this morning, and he said, you look at the way we practice, he said, we practice as well as any team I've been associated with, but come game day, it's just not there.
And that's what you're talking about. That's what I was referring to when I'm talking about structure. Look, they know when they go into the ball game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to get double coverage on their outsides. They've got to find a way to beat it. They've got to get 3 or 4 wide receivers in the game running down the field. They've got to throw it on first down to start off the ball game and take something to the Steelers. They didn't do that. Now, Walt Michaels doesn't coach that area, but he certainly is responsible chance that things aren't getting any better.
There's really no focal point to the team. There's no one key player like when they did win. And the Jets, it should be pointed out, long before Michaels came in as coach, have not had a winning season since 1969. It's a long time. It was their last playoff year and their last winning season. They don't have a focal point, a take charge person.
Number 72, offense. Repeat,
bored.
second down.
Namath was the key guy when he was there. They knew when they got him the ball, something big could happen in a hurry. Second down and 8 now for the Jets. Todd, big rush, gets it away. Tip, intercepted, Jack Lambert. So again, the Steeler defense comes up with a big play. L.C. Greenwood put the rush on Todd, and Jack Lambert goes up in the air, tips the ball, and comes down with it.
that's what you call an expression of total frustration. He thinks he's got his man. Here we've got a completion. Now Jack Lambert sticks one paw up, pulls the ball down, makes a great interception. They've got the ball back.
13:50 to play, and Pittsburgh will be back after this. Fourth quarter here at Pittsburgh, 13:50 to play in the game. Terry Bradshaw, one of his great days. He's only had about 1,000 up here at Three Rivers. Came out pitching and hitting. And the Steelers started to roll early. Now Cliff Stout's in the game, the quarterback. Look at this, it's a big play. Great fake into the line of scrimmage, and Sidney Thornton ends up with the ball and ends up 15 yards downfield.
And the problem is, if you're a Jet, you're sitting there and they're throwing in what they consider to be the subs, except Sidney Thornton's trying to get back his starting job. You know, 4 fumbles in one ball game, put him on the bench, and when you have the people of the Steelers' depth, you can replace a Sidney Thornton for a couple of ball games. Let him come up to the level you know he's got to play.
I guess all of us are gifted, John, with 20/20 hindsight. It's easy to second guess from the booth. But the Jets are assessed as a team having a lot of personnel talent by other clubs around the NFL. Is there anything they can do at this point in the season to turn it around?
Well, you see Raul Davis picking up his 8 yards, and it's pretty easy at this point in the game, but I guess the obvious speculation is what happens if they do change coaches, all right? And we've heard we know about all these coaches in the wing, the Strams, the George Allens, the John Ralstons, who've been trying to get back in the game. I really think that right there on the staff they have some knowledge of those who know and understand the personnel of that team. And if anything is done, I hope that they stay within the organization, because you can't change much after 3 games are gone in the season.
Second down and 2, they get about a yard. The principal owner of the Jets is an extraordinarily successful businessman, Leon Hess, whose business acumen he carries over the football team. And he's of the thinking you don't make precipitous changes, whether it's in a business organization like his huge companies or the football team which he owns. But you have to wonder if he's not now reviewing the status of the New York Jets and if a change should be made.
Don't worry, they've been reviewing it. I haven't talked to anybody about it, but it's easy. All you have to do is read the reactions that people make.
Pollard turns the corner, 3rd down and 2, and Pollard breaks through the Jet defense, takes the ball inside the 35-yard line and down to the 33. An 18-yard gain on the play. And at the outset of this game, of course, we talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers. The speculation here in Pittsburgh, this was an aging team, a team that had lost it, a team that's glory years were behind them and might have to rebuild. Bradshaw said we're going to score a lot today. Chuck Noll said we're a team that can still win, but we have to still prove it. And today they've come out smoking after the 10-day layoff, and the Steelers have rolled.
It's the kind of team you expect to see out of, every Sunday when you're in the black and gold. And they are far from out of it. They're 2 games back against Houston, but Cleveland hasn't been playing any better than they have.
Now the Steelers are just ripping through the Jet defense, splitting it wide open. This carry, good for a gain of 20 yards by Russell Davis. Another big power back, 230-pound back.
You need more balls to play with when it gets like this and you're calling the signals, because everybody in the backfield wants a piece of it. We were mentioning earlier that I thought that this was going to be Pittsburgh's real big shot. They've got 6 or 7 13-year veterans, 12-year veterans, guys that have been an integral part of their ball club. They've got some young players that can really play, and I expected them to win the division. And having seen them today, I have no reason to change my viewpoint.
Russell Davis takes it inside. Interesting division the way it started out. The Cleveland Browns were no better off at the day's outset than the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that won the division last year. They were 0-2 and are currently leading the Cincinnati Bengals at Cincinnati. So it's going to be tight after today. Bengals should be 2-1 if Cleveland holds up. Cleveland and Pittsburgh will be 1-2. Houston right now in an airtight game with the Miami Dolphins. If they pull it out, could go to 3-0. Have a 2-game lead on Pittsburgh, but Houston has some problems. Stabler, by his own admission, is not back in peak form. It's going to take him a while. And most importantly, the best player on the Houston team, the best player in pro football, Earl Campbell, is playing with a chronically troubled shoulder. He's got problems. He's playing him, but he's hurt. Here's a throw to Lynn Swan in the end zone.
That ball looked like it was thrown behind him, Don, but in actuality, he was trying to sucker the cornerback into a position to make one last leap at the end toward the ball, and it was by design, just missed.
And John, before people speculate early in the season where it's going to go, we see Terry Bradshaw release. You must also consider the developments last year. Most of the playoff teams, believe it or not, got off to bad starts. The Browns lost 3 of their first 5. The Raiders did. I think Atlanta was 3-3 after 6 games last year.
Rams were 0-3.
That's right. It's a long season, long way to go. Do you keep your top people healthy?
The top people know it's a long season, and they start playing.
Russell Davis takes it inside the 5 and down to the 1-yard line.
How sweet it is. What a game like this does, Don, for Pittsburgh is it gets their confidence back. Now they go on with business as usual. They're not standing around second-guessing themselves looking for what's wrong. On the other side of the coin, the Jets happen to be going into a real questioning situation.
We talked about what management of the Jets is considering right now, John, and they really, Jim Kensel's mentioned publicly during the week, have always gone with the philosophy since Kensel went as president under this new regime that the Dallas Cowboys, without making changes, ultimately became a big winner. Rolling out, Cliff Stout. Looks for the end zone. Jets are doing some popping down by that goal line. It's tough to get in. You remember Bradshaw on the same play earlier. Shot to the head, but did get a first down that subsequently was turned into a touchdown when they switched ends of the field at the end of the first quarter. You know, it's true, you won't believe this. Don't want to make excuses because the Jets are doing very, very poorly, but Tom Landry's record was about the same as Walt Michaels through 5 years at this point.
Yeah, I buy that. I understand that. And I just know right now that there's an awful lot of heat, and I think that if the management felt the same way about Walt Michaels as Dallas's did about Tom Landry, they'd have said so.
Second down and goal. What do we have? We get some hands in the air. It's touchdown Pittsburgh. Sidney Thornton gets into the end zone. Happy to be there. Talk about a franchise that's known lean years. Nobody's known them like Pittsburgh. How many years did they go? 40 or something before they had a playoff team?
Well, you know, the jokes used to go from first of all it was Green Bay, then they became champions, then it went to Pittsburgh, then they became champions. Now they're talking about all the glamour cities. You don't want to go to San Francisco, LA, unless you want to live there.
8:24 left to play in the game. The Pittsburgh Steelers, having the big day they've been waiting for, have opened up a 38-3 lead. We'll be back after this. Hoping to get his team unleashed today, and he surely did, as the Steelers have opened up a 38-3 lead with 8:24 left to play in the game. And as he's been doing all afternoon, David Trout's ready to kick it off for Pittsburgh.
And if you take a look at Chuck Noll, he's not tough to read. He's very solemn when they're winning. He's got them back on the track that he expects them to be on. When he gets out and out is when they're not ahead on the scoreboard.
Kenny Lewis runs it back, and the Jets go on offense. Chuck Noll has directed this Steeler franchise, as we all know, to 4 Super Bowl championships, but he's never worn a Super Bowl ring yet.
It's not his style, Don. You know, he also was given many opportunities to do commercials around the Pittsburgh area. His viewpoint, hey, give them to the players. And I think as a result, he's become much closer with the players. Guys like Mel Blount, who you see there, and Joe Green, and how many can we mention? Jack Lambert. But he's a football coach, out and out, and that's all he does. He's a technician out there, and that's the best quality of a good one, in my opinion.
Freeman McNeil runs the ball. We'll see if the Steelers can keep it going next Sunday. They'll be back at Three Rivers Stadium to go against the New England Patriots. Then they head to New Orleans. Then their longtime arch rivals from the AFC Central, the Cleveland Browns, come down the Ohio Pike to Pittsburgh. That's always a good one. Then they go to Cincinnati, start playing in the division. Next week, the New York Jets. Well, they'll be going back to Shea Stadium to play the Houston Oilers. Then they go to Miami, but it's no day in the beach when you have to play the Dolphins down there this year. They're tough.
Well, how about Houston?
There are no tickets in Pittsburgh. The Steelers with their 75th consecutive home games. Wow. Only problem with Three Rivers Stadium that it isn't twice as big. Pat Ryan in the game, quarterback in the Jets, throws over the middle. Freeman McNeil has the ball, loses a thigh pad, or loses a shoe. So he'll get reshot. He got 17 yards on the play. He's not a bad guy to get the ball, Joe.
No, and I think they're going to realize that more and more and more. He's the sort of back that when you do get him on a linebacker and get him the ball, he's going to pick up more than a first down for you if he can find a way to keep his shoe on. And also as a running back, he can be phenomenal.
Like Bob Ledbetter, the man who coaches the Jets runners. 7:28 to play in the game. Pat Ryan, a quarterback for the Jets, going back to the run, and they're getting some room here. Up the middle goes Kenny Lewis, across the 45-yard line, and a first down carry. He got to the 46. Steeler front line defense till then. It was Jack Lambert who nailed it. Second down and 7 coming up for the Jets. They've yet to put a touchdown up today. Shut out in their first game at Buffalo, held at 3 points this day at Pittsburgh. This is an encouraging day for the Steeler defense also because they gave up more points in the first 2 weeks than any team in the league. They shut down the Jets today. The Steelers gave up 67 points in those opening losses. Mike Augustiniak, free agent runner from Purdue, catches the ball for a 10-yard gain.
And it should be pointed out that the ball was very well thrown and thrown at just the right time. Augustiniak made a good break about 6-7 yards down the field. These are the things that coaches look for, that people notice when the game's out of control. This is how you keep your job if you're a rookie, or get one. By playing very well, keeping your head about you, and doing all you can do to help the cause.
Straight ahead, Augustiniak finds a crease in the Steeler defense, runs through it, and sprints on down to the 32-yard line. He got a 12-yard gain. First down, Jets. A couple of guys mixing it up. Panaszak and Ward have a fight every time they play. That was another guy.
That was Coors.
Yeah, Bill Coors fighting.
Well, you can see Valentine climbing on for the ride, but
Jets moving now, running the ball. 6:05 to play in the game, clock running. Steelers in the lead, 38-3. They led at the half, 17-3. Put up 21 unanswered points here in the second half. Pat Ryan throws it. Raymond McNeil started to run before he got it. Just as well, perhaps, because Lambert was sweeping in like a big shot.
he was sweeping in, but he was the only guy sweeping. It looked to me like Ryan made a pretty nifty little play.
In the fourth quarter, Ron Brock
Get a big round of applause here as they announce the Don Strock touchdown pass in Houston. Miami Dolphins 16-10 over Houston.
They know who they have to catch.
This division is going to be real close after 3 weeks of play.
We've got a march underway. Stabler into the arms of Mike Renfro. It's still 16-10. We'll have a final on this one before we step aside for the day. Don?
The Snake trying to get the Oilers back up. They'd go 3-0 on the day if they can get back and win over Miami. Dolphins with a lot of home games coming up, though. They always do get them late in the season.
Yeah, pretty good play by Gaffney, just trying to keep both feet in bounds. Down with the ball, but outside.
3rd and 10. Anthony Washington gets his first interception in the NFL. It was a nicely done ball play. Penalty markers down, though. Must be a hold against the Jets because their offense is going off. Now they're going back on. 5:31 left to play in the game. Scored again, and they're out in front of Cincinnati 20-10.
Well, you can't get too concerned with the standings at this point because it looks as if things stay the way they are, everybody will be within one game of each other in the Central Division of the AFC, and with 13 games to go, you just go play the best you can, see how it comes out.
John, you know, they talk about when you do change coaches, you go back to square one, start all over again, and you had an extraordinarily long playing career and very successful one in San Francisco, 17 seasons, one of the rare players to go that long. You saw a lot of coaching changes over the years there and in other cities. What is your philosophy on changing coaches and going back to square one?
I don't think it's a good idea at this time of the year necessarily to change a coach.
If personal foul, roughing the passer, number 67 defense, first down.
Somebody is to be held responsible for what's going on with the Jets right now, that's for sure.
In Cincinnati, the Browns have scored again. Mike Pruitt doing the honors from 11 yards out, and the Browns suddenly are out in front of the fourth period by a score of 20-10. Appears they will go 1-2 after 3 weeks. Don Pritchie?
All right, Brian, Jets trying to get in the end zone for the first time today, and they might do it here. Open is Freeman McNeil, touchdown Jets.
Very well thrown ball by Ryan. He's coming in under a situation where everybody's laying back, playing off, and it's a good operating situation for a quarterback who hasn't had a lot of playing time, but it does expose a few things. McNeil ran an excellent pattern. He threw the ball at the proper time, and they put 6 points on the board. You were talking to me about coaching viewpoints and should you change in the middle of the season. Obviously, it puts a real burden on everybody in the organization, and particularly the players. That's why they have training camps, so everyone can get accustomed to one another. And if there is anything done, I'm sure they'll stay within the ranks of the staff.
Pat Leahy, extra point up on the way in good, and the Jets are on the board for their first touchdown of this day. As the Jets now trail 38-10 with 5:26 left to play. It was Pat Ryan who threw for the score. With John Brody, this is Don Criqui back at Three Rivers Stadium, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The city of champions in the 1970s. The kick goes high and short. Ball is fielded. Coming upfield now, the ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers is Johnny Durden, and he can run. Working his way across the 30, and it might get somebody on a face mask. Johnny Durden. Happy to have a shot at it. And then here's a free agent from Canada.
I'll tell you, they've got so many guys. Did you know Sam Davis is still on the injured reserve? I mean, there was a guy that was the heart and soul of the offensive line for about 10 years, Don, and he's still capable of playing. Now, this is the fifth offensive receiver. Primarily, he's used for kickoff returns, punt return.
Face mask.
We see the face mask.
5-yard penalty on the tackler. First down.
First and 10, Pittsburgh ball. Roll the 35-yard line.
Anthony Washington smiling. He's had a pretty enjoyable first day.
Done well. He's not bad. Third cornerback the Steelers use on the left side, the rookie free agent Anthony Washington. Got out Wesley Walker when he went against him, and whoops, intercepted one. Marty Lyons gets a hold of the ball carrier on a broken play, and the Steelers will go from a hole. They'll be at second down about 13. Right now, they're interested in the clock winding down, and it is. It's down to 5 minutes to play in the game. 38-10 the score. The Steelers getting set for New England next Sunday here at Three Rivers.
Second down.
That's our producer, Kenny Edmondson, having a little fun.
Kenneth Roy Edmondson. Andy Rosenberg, our director, as we come to you from Three Rivers Stadium. Up the middle, nothing there. Jets shut it down. In the 60s, the most famous address in football, Lambeau Field, Lombardi Drive, Green Bay, Wisconsin. But then, when the 4 World Championship banners were raised here at Three Rivers, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania became the most famous address in pro football. Final score in from Atlanta. Falcons win again, 3-0 on the year, beat San Francisco 34-17.
That's one of the teams that has it all, Don. They've got the offense, defense, special teams, coaching staff, general manager. Eddie LeBaron's put an awful good group together the last 4 years.
He has. Stout throws. Ball is caught. Lynn Swan weaving on the far side, goes out of bounds across midfield. A 16-yard gain on the play and a first down for Pittsburgh.
Cliff Stout doesn't get an awful lot of action, Don, but when he does, he seems to play very well. I still remember the game he played against Cleveland, coming off a very, very important game. They ended up losing, but they scored 35 points. It's just feel that you either have or you don't have. You can see he had an offensive back in his way. He pushed him out of the way. Still was able to throw the ball out to Swan. That's one of the few Lynn's caught today.
No receiver ever had a day in a Super Bowl like Lynn Swan did in Super Bowl 10. 4 catches against the Cowboys for 161 yards. On a first down carry, Russell Davis takes it ahead to the 46-yard line of the Jets. Greg Buttle made the knockdown for New York. Cincinnati easing closer now, John. In the fourth quarter, Pete Johnson just ran in from a yard out. Cleveland's lead only 3 points with 1:57 to play. Cincinnati's won 3 games, or 2 games this season, come from behind. They're opening with Seattle last week against the Jets. Trying hard to do it against the Cleveland Browns. Russell Davis up the middle, breaking tackles. Russell Davis is finally caught and knocked down by Darrell Ray at the 22-yard line. 23-yard gain on the play. Everybody in the Pittsburgh offense that handles the ball has some good numbers today.
That's why I say they're all asking for it. It's improved the average time. It's the kind of play Gastineau would have had early in the ball game, but when you're down 38-10, there's just something about your energy level.
Russell's is quite high today. 93 yards on just the 12 carries, as you see, and he's been in the end zone. First touchdown of the day was scored by Davis. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the game. John Brody heads down to the field for post-game interviews. Plans to be talking with Jim Kempson, the president of the New York Jets. 10-yard gain on another run, and the Steelers take the ball right at the Jets. And the game clock winds down to 2:15 to play. While we have a moment, back to New York, NFL 81. Bryant?
Okay, Don Cricky, thank you very much. Bengals still trying to come from behind against the Browns. Watch this one. Kenny Anderson lost one up for Isaac Curtis. Hanford Dixon on the coverage, and yes, that is pass interference. It is first and goal for 1. Pete Johnson goes over the left side. It's 2017. There's still some time left. Don?
Bryant, the worst defeat the Jets have ever had was a 53-3 loss to Dallas. Hopefully that won't be approached today. Pittsburgh, though, is having the big day and looking for more. We'll be back. Back at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's 38-10. Pittsburgh Steelers in the lead. 2 minutes to play in the game. Steelers have the ball inside the New York Jet 15-yard line. Second down and 2. Up the middle goes Sidney Thornton. He's down to the 5-yard line. A lot of questions were answered for Steeler fans, for the Steeler players, and certainly for Coach Chuck Noll today. All that's been written in the off time since the Miami loss about Joe Green being in his 13th year. L.T. Greenwood, 13th year. John Kolb, 13th year. Mel Blunt, Bradshaw in their 12th years. Harrison's 10th year. Jack Ham will come back in a week or so in his 11th year. Were the Steelers too old to come back and win? Apparently not, because they were a powerhouse football team for 4 quarters today. When this game, when the Jets were fired fired and given it everything they had. Not that they're not now, but they know they're beaten. The Steelers went right through them. Now, Sidney Thornton crashes for more yards down close to the 1-yard line. Darrell Ray knocks him down. But the Pittsburgh story has been a great part of the city's history here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The elevator operator coming up today. People on the elevator, members of the press were talking. Everybody's been talking about the Steelers on the way down. This guy turned around and said, well, no matter if they're on the way down or not, in a million years we could never thank them for what they brought to this city. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Don Omeyer. The coordinating producer of football is Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game has been produced by Kenneth Edmondson, directed by Andy Rosenberg, technical director Bill Tobey, associate director John Filippelli. Steelers go in the end zone again, or do they? No hands up yet, other than by Pittsburgh players. Ray Penny thinks they're in. He's been signaling a touchdown since the play went dead. But it's at the goal line. Thanks today to our spotters, Jim McGinley and Tim Fogarty, our statistician, George Jordan, for their usual excellent work here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A flock of birds flies through the stadium now. Terry Bradshaw thought the Steelers would be ready before the game, and he was so right. And now the game clock winds down and winds out. And the Steelers have their first win of 1981. And the good chance is going to be the first of many. We'll be back at Three River Stadium after this. Back at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Steelers open up with their first win of the 1981 season, coming in the third game of the season, but a most impressive victory it was, a 38-10 win over the New York Jets, as the Steelers opened up on offense every dimension. Bradshaw throwing the ball exceptionally well. All his runners got big yardage. The offensive line was excellent. We'll be going to NFL 81, an update on all the scores and stories right after these messages.